interesting moments. Obviously, a big title change towards the end of that show with Judgment Day getting the tag team championships back in, honestly, a moment that I didn't see coming. It's one that completely caught me by surprise. It's one that I was not expecting or anticipating, and it was all the better for it. It was lovely to be surprised by something along those lines and not actually see that it was going to happen. So, yeah, loved it. Good. On we move, and we move on to NXT. NXT tonight, no big Tuesday Night War, unfortunately. Like last week something very special and fun as well, to be honest. Everyone had their own opinions on it, but I think it was, at the end of the day, fun, enjoyable. But as we said last week, what did it mean? What did it matter? I don't think it actually meant or mattered at all. We move forward now to a brand new week, and we go back to normal. So NXT tonight on the show, we have got Carmelo Hayes against Baron Corbin against Dijak. Now, Cody Rhodes said that he was GM last week and he had something he wanted to do before he stopped being GM. So he put something in place before he went away and went back to the main roster. We don't know what that is, but there is a rumor that he might have added someone else to this match. That might be what he did. So Baron Corbin, Carmelo Hayes, Dijak, and it's not been confirmed, but there are thoughts on social media that Trick Williams could be added to this match. That would put Trick in a match with Carmelo, I think, for the first time, apart from whenever they've tagged together, of course. But this would be Trick in there with Carmelo, and I'm sure there would be a moment where the two would be alone in ring, and it would be like, what will they do? I mean, they'd fight, surely. It'd be very reminiscent of Demolition when they drew 1 and 2 in the Royal Rumble and they just started going at each other. Every man for themselves, big prize up for grabs. So I really hope that's what he's done. I really hope that that's the decision that he's made, is that he's put Trick into this match. We know that Trick doesn't have that North American Championship anymore. So there's no reason as to why he can't be added to this. So yeah, we've got Corbin, Carmelo, Dijak, and there is a thought out there that there could be a fourth that's added, and it might be Trick Williams. Then, of course, we got the Bada Boom, Bada Bing Battle Royal. So this is where we're going to have loads of teams, tag teams, in a Battle Royal over the top rope. Once we get down to the final 2 teams, the Battle Royal will stop, and then those 2 teams will have a match. I don't think it goes straight into the match. It might be that the match is next week, but that is the Bada Boom, Bada Bing Battle Royal. So, yeah, always fun to see a Battle Royal. Don't mind Battle Royals. We've also got Lyra Valkyria taking on Tegan Nox. I really like this match. This match makes so much sense to me, because Tegan got called up and she's right at the bottom of the roster. She's right at the bottom of, she's on the lowest rung on Raw, because we just never get a chance to see her. It's only been the past few weeks that we've been doing stuff with her. So for me, she's if she went back to NXT, I wouldn't be shocked. So she's right at the bottom of the main roster. And then you've got Lyra Valkyria, who's right at the top of the NXT roster. If she's the next women's champion, I wouldn't be shocked. So we've kind of got these 2 women that are on different shows, but they're actually, in my mind, quite close. They're quite close to where each other are. It's not like Tegan is off main eventing pay-per-views or competing for the Women's World Championship and all this kind of stuff. We haven't really got going with her yet. But Lyra is also someone that's right there at the top of NXT. So I really like this matchup. I think you would probably give Tegan the win, and it be really close and handshakes after, and Tegan saying wow, yeah, you're ready, man. but like Lyra just falls that little bit, because it's probably not going to be a good look, is it, if Tegan loses to Lyra? That's probably not good for Tegan. But Lyra can take the loss and it's not going to be a problem. So I'm thinking Tegan picks up the win, but I really like the match. And of course, we're progressing with the women's breakout tournament tonight as well. So we're going to be getting more on that. I don't think they've announced as to what the matches are tonight for that women's breakout tournament, but we know that that's still chugging along. I don't think we start with the men's breakout tournament yet because we haven't met the participants, and there's been only the announcement for the Dusty Tag Team Classic, so I don't think we're going to get that tonight either, but we know all of that is on the way. So, and what next for Joe Gacy? You know, I'd love to find out. What next for Ava? I'd love to find out. I don't think she's going to go to Bloodline. I just think that was a tease. I just think that was a little fun little moment. So I'm not expecting her to go to Bloodline. I'm not expecting Bron Breakker to go to Bloodline. I just think anything you saw last week was just really a one-off. It was just to bump ratings. It was just to get hype. It was just to create a buzz on social media. I don't think anything that we saw last week you can really read too much into. But it doesn't mean that we still can't do some pretty exciting stuff. So Ava and Joe Gacy, what are we doing there? Like, what are we doing with Braun and Von? Because we know that Von Wagner's going to be close to coming back. Obviously, it was a little while ago, wasn't it, where we saw... it was a little while ago where we saw the ending of Raw with the black screen. That's been a while. So, you know, we need to take some steps forward there as well. So, plenty going on in NXT. NXT is cooking at the moment. It's doing some really good stuff. Last week was an exception. Last week was a detour. Last week was a one-off. But now we get back to, like, moving these stories along a little bit. And looking forward to it, man. Should be good. Should be good. T-Bone Gaming said, what is your weekly streaming schedule? I'd love to mark it on my calendar. T-Bone Gaming, shout out to you. So we stream for Raw, we stream for NXT. AEW is currently on a Wednesday, but I've been honest in saying it's very close to the chopping block because I don't want to watch that show if I'm not enjoying it, and I'm just really not having a great time with it, and I haven't for a while now. I you know, and there's people on there that I really like, but unfortunately, because of Collision coming along, and also because of like injuries, I'm just not seeing a lot of the people that I want to see. Like, I enjoy watching FTR, and we don't see them much on Dynamite. I enjoy watching Ricky Starks, and we don't see him much on Dynamite. Both of them tend to be on Collision. I enjoy watching Bryan Danielson. Again, I think he's like over on Collision now. I enjoy watching Jamie Hayter, and she's been out with an injury for a long time. So a lot of the people that I enjoy watching, I'm just not seeing on a regular basis anymore. And the people that I am seeing are people that I'm not a massive fan of. They're people that I wouldn't go out my way to watch. So I've got no interest in hate watching. I really don't. I'd much rather use my time in a more productive way, like doing something that I would rather be doing. So we will be watching AEW tomorrow, but yeah, I mean, if tomorrow's like a bad show, if I leave tomorrow and I'm just like, oh god, I can't do it, that might be getting axed. So because I'd much rather just do streams that I enjoy. I mean, I love watching NXT. I have so much fun with. Honestly, this has become one of my favorite streams to do, because I get so excited just for the show, and I know that it's a quieter stream as well. And obviously, I love having people joining us. But I don't know, like, you know, you get your regulars, the people that join you on a regular basis, and I feel like the NXT stream gives them a bit more room to express themselves, because there's not, it's not as competitive in the chat. Like on Raw, for example, and SmackDown, we'll probably do about 10,000 views at least, right? Depends how good it is that week, right? On NXT, I'd imagine we'll do like 3 to 4, something like that. Last week we did 13, which was mental, right? That was crazy. But last week was mental, and last week was crazy. I would imagine that will drastically settle back down again tonight. So yeah, I love these streams. I love them. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at the moment, Friday, and then we also stream on a Saturday, but that tends to be like boxing or UFC or a WWE premium live event, or maybe even an AEW premium live event. I think we could still probably jump into the AEW live events. I feel like they tend to deliver something. At least I'd watch those and I don't feel like it was a waste of time. I got a bit of something from Wrestle Dream. I thought Wrestle Dream had some moments to it. I thought that All Out had some moments to it. All In had some moments as well. But I think of the three, All In was my least favorite. I enjoyed probably Wrestle Dream and All Out more. Although I would say it was close between Wrestle Dream and All In, if I'm being honest. I'd say it was quite close. For me, of the three, All Out was the best. No doubt about that in my mind. All Out was the best. So I still find that I'm getting a little summit from the premium live event. So yeah, on a Saturday, UFC this weekend, by the way. And then I think the week after we're doing Tyson Fury. So Fury against Ngannou. Of course, we've got some other big boxing stuff that's coming up as well. So it's a pretty busy end to the year, to be honest, when it comes to the Saturday streams, which is lovely. I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, hope that helps. Right. AEW could be discontinued. Don't forget you stopped NXT and that rose from the ashes. That's true. That is true. So like AEW, I've been very honest with it because, as I said, I don't have an interest in hate watching. Like, I know some people might have the idea maybe that that's what we do because I do watch it each week and I do criticize it a lot, but that's because I'm not enjoying it. It's not because I'm watching to criticize. It's because I'm watching to enjoy, but I'm not enjoying. So all I'm left with is criticisms. So I would rather take that step away. Yeah, you're right. We did it with NXT, and it was one of the best things we did. I would go back. I would do the exact same thing again. I was struggling with the show. I wasn't finding much there. It was during that kind of 2.0 periods, which I think a lot of people kind of regard as a bit of a dark period for NXT, a bit of a period where it kind of had a new identity, new superstars. It was trying to find its feet again, and it just felt like this needs a bit of time. This needs time to get to wherever it's going to get to. So we stepped away. Rather than watching and criticizing, we stepped away. We came back when there was a decent-sized show that looked like a good card. And I was really impressed with where it had got to. I was really impressed. So we were back on board. And honestly, we've been back on board now for well over 12 months. And it was really good. It's for the past 12 months, I'd say it's just got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's just got better and better and better and better. To the point now where it's just a complete 180. So could AEW do the same? Absolutely. Absolutely. AEW could, like, you know, start to really get some juicy stories, start to find its feet, could be some buzz, could be like, oh my God, have you seen what they're doing with Tony Storm? Because I do like Tony Storm. Have you, like, you know, it's brilliant now that we're starting to use FTR and Danielson back on Dynamite again. Loving what they're doing with Danielson. When he loses his next match, he's going to retire or whatever it might be. Whatever it might be. Yeah, that door absolutely can be open again. Definitely. I thought UFC was at 7 p.m. in the UK. I think that's the main cards. I think it starts between 1 and 3. Haven't got that far, to be honest. Haven't got that far. I am still... I mean, I'm doing loads of work behind the scenes. I've done loads of... I'm trying to make loads of little videos. I really want to try and get a video out a day, like in the future, because I think we are good at doing the streams. I think we're good at doing little news videos. We only tend to do the big news stories, not the little speculation bits, but like any kind of decent sized news, like this has happened on the show, or Sean Ross Sapp or WrestleVotes have said this is coming, or whatever it might be. I think we're pretty good at those. I think we're pretty good at live streams. But I'm always looking for extra content to put onto the channel, and sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. But I am working on some more little videos, just little things that can go on the channel each day that I think will just be fun, and I think will be good additions. So I'm working on those at the moment, but they won't be, I want to get a good chunk of them done first, because I don't want to start them and do one and then wait an age to do the second one. I want to have them like lined up, ready to go, you know. So that means doing the work now, so that they can just drop and we can, you know, just keep them going. So yeah, I'm kind of doing that. So there's lots going on at the moment. But the streams, you know, we're not going anywhere with the streams. Still love doing Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and at the moment we're still doing AEW tomorrow. It's just when you consistently watch a show and you know that it's not quite delivering for you, and it's been that way for a while, like, I mean, you're going to come to the point where you're like, I'm not enjoying this. I'm not having fun. I'm not tuning in. And I don't think people are having fun either. I don't think any of us are having fun. Like, it can't be that much fun coming in and then, like, we're criticizing it, you know? I mean, if you're a hardcore AEW fan, I can't imagine that you enjoy our streams. Maybe if you're someone that doesn't like AEW, you might start to enjoy our streams, but I'm not trying to attract that kind of, like, toxicity. I'm not trying to bring that into the channel. I mean, we could easily do a hate watch along, and then I could easily do videos like going, this was trash, that was trash, what the hell were they doing here? Look how phony this looked. You know, if we really wanted to go down that path, we absolutely could. But we don't, and we haven't been. And we haven't been making those videos, and we haven't been doing those things. Like, as I said, we're trying to find stuff that we can have fun with, that we can enjoy, and, like, you know. And for me, it's just not where I would want it to be at the moment. But we'll see what they do tomorrow, and we'll see, like, you know. I think last week was really stressful for them, and I think they threw a lot at the wall and they didn't get the result they wanted. And so I really think tomorrow's going to be very interesting, because tomorrow they've got an opportunity to go and put on the dynamite that they want to put on. I've heard people actually saying, and I do agree with them, that it would have been better for them to have not tried last week. They tried really hard, but they, as a result, wasted a load of things, unfortunately, last week. You know, Edge's first match, for example, that could be tomorrow. We could be getting hyped about seeing Edge's first match, but it got completely lost. I saw no one talking about it. I didn't see anything on it. It was just lost. Like, the noise was all about Tony. It was all about the Tuesday Night War. It was all about the ratings. So that big moment, Edge's first match in AEW, completely wasted, completely gone. And what result did you get from it? I mean, they took an L. They took an L, you know. And that's fine, because they were on a different day. So it was all right they took an L. But like, they took an L. Had they have, like, not done that match, like, would their ratings have been that much lower? I really don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if their ratings would have been that much lower. Because we know that there's about 850,000 that watch them on a Wednesday. If they go up against NXT, that number's going to drop. Well, they went down to 600,000. So where is that number? Like, how many hardcore AEW till I die? How many people are there out there? Because last week it was 600,000 that had the option to watch NXT, but watched AEW instead, or watched more of AEW than they did of NXT. So I wonder where that number is. It's interesting, isn't it? I think obviously it'll go up tomorrow. But again, tomorrow, what does it go back up to? Because it took a hit last week, didn't it? It took a hit. It went down to 600,000. So is everyone going to tune back in? Because it crossed my mind about not. It crossed my mind for, like, is this the week that I should stop watching? Like, because I'm there or thereabouts anyway. Is this the week where I should stop? And I wonder if that's crossed my mind, if it's crossed other people's minds as well. I wonder if I'm not alone in that. Tomorrow's rating will be very interesting. because they could go right back up to 800,000, 820,000. Or maybe it comes in at a 750 and there's about 50,000, 70,000 that have gone, do you know what? Nah, I don't need it. And how much damage has the quarters thing done as well? Because you want to talk about hot topic, right? The whole Gaza-Israel thing is a hot topic. And doing anything kind of connected with that at the moment is just, it's not a good move, is it? It's not a good move at all. And that, I think that did upset a fair, and it's easy to upset people in this day and age. But I do think that that did upset a fair number of people. How many people saw that and went, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna have a break. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. James said the problem with AEW is everything is a bit too rushed. And plus also Tony is a man-child. Life's too short to settle not doing things you love if given a chance. That's true. Life is too short. UFC prelims start at 5 p.m. Main card at 7. Early again, innit? Early. I think I'd rather it be a bit later, actually, but, well, it is what it is. Dort Knight said, I stand by my opinion that we want competition, and the day we have a monopoly in wrestling is the day that creativity ends. I hope that AEW succeeds. Trini said, I'm also slightly drunk, so I'm not trying to say anything I'll regret when I'm sober. Oh, go on, Trini. Go on. Go on, now's your chance. Now's your chance to speak the truth. All those thoughts and feelings that you've had bottled up. You can all let them out now, can't you? Hey, it's good. Be good. You'll feel better if you do it. Go for it. Oh. That'll spice up the chat tonight. Suzanne, hello, said, do you think Braun will get teased about what Taker did to him? Do I think Braun will be teased about what Taker did to him? What did Taker do? What did Taker do? I have not. Has there been an interaction between them recently? I know Taker was on NXT last week, but Braun wasn't down in NXT. I've just put Undertaker into Twitter. There is something here from a couple of hours ago, which I won't have seen. Is this something to do with Braun? No. No. What's the Braun thing? Let me know. Please respond. Actually, do you know what I could do? Because I haven't had a chance to do this. I could just click on... Let's go Observer and just see what the latest news is. Daily update. NXT, Anthony Bowens, Ted DiBiase Jr. Raw viewership. Oh, I haven't seen that either. Let's have a little look. Collision ratings are up, though. So that's interesting. Raw did 1.48. 1.48. It did a 0.44 in the 18 to 49 demo, if anyone cares. The show was down, but it was up in the 18 to 49 against tough competition as both the Dallas Cowboys versus LA Chargers and the Philadelphia Phillies against the Diamondbacks baseball playoff games were up compared to last year. So, what else we got? Rey Mysterio details advice he gave to Del Vikingo. Sammy Guevara not cleared for Dynamite. And Vince has got no final say in the final cut of his Netflix documentary, which is kind of interesting. Right. Where's the Suzanne thing? Did Suzanne put in what was said? Because Sean, there's also a problem for AEW right now because WWE is hot right now, aren't we all? And AEW is just there. James said, I'm always upsetting someone. People are too soft. Adam said WWE tours Germany with 4 live events at the end of October from Wednesday to Saturday next week. Berlin, Munich, Cologne, and Hamburg. I always thought Cologne was in France. The problem with AEW is all their stars are close to retirement. Trini said Pepsi sucks. It took 40 years to say that. Happy birthday to me. Oh, is it your birthday? Happy birthday. Guys, happy birthday to Trini. I know she mentioned actually in a DM that it was coming up, so I really do want to be the first to say happy 62nd birthday to Trini. Amazing. I know it's not a big one. Like 60th is like your big one, but 62nd is still, do you know what I mean? Still, I think if you can make it that far in life, then that is an achievement. I never really understand why younger people celebrate their birthdays because, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 16, I could imagine being a bit special. But, like, if you can do what Trini did and get that far to, like, 60 seconds, that's pretty sick. So, Trini, shout out to you. I hope you well. Hope you got spoilt by your husbands. That's have a great day, dude. Have a great day. But Raslani said, who have you got in the Ankalaev Johnny Walker fight? Walker is a big underdog. I haven't done the tape study. I mean, gut feeling would say Ankalaev, but I haven't touched UFC. I haven't even started having a little look at it. Suzanne said Bron Breakker. What do I think Bron will be teased for what happened last week with Undertaker? Someone might say something like with him being like chokeslammed, like Baron Corbin might make a passing comment, whatever. But I don't know. I think there could be a comment that gets made, but we're moving on. We're moving on. There's other things to focus on this week. We need to find a new number 1 contender, and as we said, it might even turn out to be old Trick Williams. In fact, should we put a poll up? Let's put a poll up. Who will be number 1 contender? Who's going to be the number 1 contender? Is it going to be Carmelo? Is it going to be... I will put Trick in, even though he's not been announced. It's up to you if you want to vote for it. Dijak. It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one because we don't even know if Trick is going to be in it. But yeah, it's a thought that I liked. I like the idea of him being in it. Right, Hawk is not out, said, or A out. Who do you think will be the most successful between Hayes and Breaker? Do you know what? It's really hard to say. If Vince was booking, I would say Bron Breakker, because we all know that Vince likes bigger guys and he likes muscles, and I think he puts real value in size. You look at Roman, you look at Cena, you look at Undertaker, you look at Hogan back in the day. So I think that it would have been Bron Breakker, but under Triple H. I don't know because that doesn't really stack up, does it? I mean, to be honest, I think the truth for both of them is probably that they're going to be around the title picture. I haven't seen enough from Bron Breakker to say that he's going to be the face of the company, and I don't think that Carmelo is going to be the face of the company. I don't look at either of them as being like the next Roman Reigns. I don't. That's the level. That's the level, and it's a high level. It's a hard level to reach. There's really only one that goes on to achieve that, and Bron would feel like he's best placed to be that person, but I don't think he is. I think there's more chance of someone else coming in and taking that spot. I mean, I think that Theory is got a better chance, to be honest. I think Theory's got a better chance of taking that spot. Grayson Waller as well, I think has got a good chance of not being the face, but being around main events and being involved. I mean, Grayson Waller might end up being like The Miz because he can carry those kinds of segments. He's fun. He can like lay into the crowds. I could see Grayson going on to be like the next Miz, but dare I say a Miz that's given more wins. You know, Miz would always do silliness and would like likely lose. Maybe Grayson could do the silliness, but actually picks up a few more victories. I wonder if actually Grayson will be a little bit more like Rowdy Roddy Piper, because Piper did silliness. Piper had fun on Piper's Pit, but he would go in the ring and he would back it up, right? Or if he was going to lose, he would be protected. Like, you know, they'd find a way of it not just being a clean pin. In fact, Piper rarely took clean losses. If you beat Piper clean, I mean, it was a rare occurrence. If he was going to lose, it was going to be because of like disqualification. Like he got DQ'd all the flipping time. So, you know, it would be a case of I could see Grayson going in that direction. Braun, I look at Braun and it's like, well, he could go on to be like a Scott Steiner, you know? He could go on to be a bit of a poor man's Batista. Like, you know, we're talking about people that are going to be around world titles, but they're not the face of the company. They're involved in big stories, but they're not the face of the company. Carmelo, I think, is interesting because Carmelo, I think, has got a little bit more about him personality-wise. Braun strikes me as quite one-dimensional. Meathead, tough guy, yeah? Whereas Carmelo, I feel like there's a few more layers to Carmelo that I've seen. I find Carmelo's matches to be a little bit more pleasing to the eye. He can do a little more in the ring, whereas Braun is just that big power move kind of a guy. Which under Vince would have got him to the top. Under Vince, that's what Vince would have wanted. But I think for me, Carmelo is a little bit more to my taste. He's a little bit more closer to, say, Shawn. I feel like Braun is closer to a Batista or a Scott Steiner, like big power. Whereas I think Carmelo is a little bit more to a Shawn or to a Brett. So, but again, like I don't see it. I don't see the next face of the company there. So it's hard, isn't it? It's hard because who's gonna get further? Well, I don't know. Is Batista gonna get further than a Bret Hart? I don't know. It's I think what we've got are pieces to a puzzle, and you need different pieces. You don't want the same piece, right? You ain't your puzzle's gonna look rubbish. So you need different pieces, and I think that Braun is gonna be a good piece. He's gonna be a different piece to a Grayson Waller, and Carmelo is gonna be a different piece to Austin Theory, and he's gonna be a different piece to a Braun, and he'll be a different piece to a Grayson. So, you know, like you want to build a roster with like some really good talent that's going to offer you something a little different. Someone's a powerhouse, someone's a technical specialist, someone has just got bags of personality. And I feel like we're getting a lovely mix. I think we're getting a nice blend. What hasn't shown itself yet is that person that leads the group. I haven't seen that next Roman Reigns. I haven't, or at least I don't feel like I've seen that next Roman Reigns. So we'll see. I think they'll try and get Braun to be that next Roman if they don't have someone show themselves. But yeah, I'd love to see like someone like of a decent size come in that can like really carry it forwards. Maybe Carmelo could like get a good story that catches fire, you know, because you can always have like a Sammy. And we know that Brett achieved great things. And had Brett have been booked under, say, Triple H and not Vince, it'd be really interesting to know how far he could have gone. You know, had Hogan have dropped the title back to Brett like he should have in 93, and had Vince have really got behind Brett, not trying to find we tried Psycho Sid, we tried Vader, we tried Diesel, we tried Shawn, we had Lex Luger that was around. I mean, he had Bret Hart, one of the best in-ring wrestlers ever, and Vince was still looking for something else, still wanted something different. You know, we were still looking at a Psycho Sid, at a Diesel, at a Vader, at an Undertaker at times. Like, he could never quite be the guy, you know. He could never quite have that run with the belt for a few years. And I don't know that I've seen anyone that can do that. You know, it's hard. It's really difficult. Maybe I don't even think Solo, because I think Solo is going to be the next Umaga. I think Solo is going to be the next Enforcer, the next Wrecking Machine. But he's not big enough to be the next Brock. I mean, unless you get the booking where you book Solo the same way that you book Brock Lesnar, which I don't think we will. I don't think we will, because I don't think he's got the size. You know, when Brock comes out, straight away you're like, oh my God, here comes the beast, because of his size and what he's achieved. I mean, he went to UFC and became heavyweight champion. So before he even has to do anything, he's got that OMG feel to him. And Solo doesn't have that, because Solo is someone that was still building. If we can get there with him, I really don't know. I think we can get somewhere fantastic. I think we can get him to an Umaga level, right? I think we can get him to a Rikishi level. But can we get him to a level where he's going to be the next Roman Reigns? Like, don't think so. But it's, you know, that's just where we are at the moment with like, you don't know who the Machine is going to get behind. You don't know quite who it is that Triple H wants to push, you know. I mean, maybe it'll be Gunther. Maybe Gunther, if we have Gunther and we really get behind Gunther. I mean, Gunther is fantastic in ring, and he is super, like, credible. Personality-wise, might just let him down a little bit, but maybe if we give him some really good storylines, then maybe that won't be too much of a problem. Because if he's got, like, some good stories to react to and bounce off, then, you know, maybe Gunther could be something that could grow into being, like, you know, the top of the tree. Don't know, even Gunther, I think it's his personality. I think it's the fact that, you know, he cuts very passionate promos, but I don't know that there's enough humor there. I don't know, like, you know, those little looks that Roman can give sometimes when he's interacting with his family. Those backstage moments where he's interacting with Sammy. I mean, like, there's a depth to Roman that I don't know that we've seen from Gunther. What we've seen from Gunther is he's got a good size. He's great in ring. He can cut passionate promos. But you need even more than that. You need more than that. Really, to be the face of the company, you've got to be pretty much the complete package. You know, and Roman is the complete package. He can have great matches. He looks incredible. I mean, he looks like an absolute god, right? He looks incredible. He's got a great personality because he can do those acknowledge me passionate promos, but then he can have like a warm banter with his family. He can talk to the wise man, like, you know, the little Lucy segments that he was involved in when he's telling, like, Jay, you stay right there. Is this the problem? Are you just not feeling Usi? Like, his delivery, the way he can bring humor out of things, I don't know that I can see Gunther doing that. Maybe he could, and maybe we just haven't seen it. But yeah, I think the future's bright, but I'm still waiting for that complete package. We need the narcissist, Lex Luger. Undercover Manager said, I'm shocked that Tony Khan hasn't changed to a Tuesday so that he can keep his imagination running wild. and pretend we are in the middle of a war. Ha ha ha, the loser. What's the average age of the mods? I'm a nerd. I like to know these things, said Dort Knights. What a nerd, Dort Knight, said James. Briona, shout out to you, said, I'm happy to lead a life to remain so optimistic. I've had so many rough times. I've seen way too much violence and death. Witness to the worst humanity has got to offer. I'm sorry to hear that, Briona. The world can be a very harsh, hard place, as we're seeing in Israel and Gaza and, you know, Hamas and all that stuff at the moment. Awful what's happening over there. Absolutely awful. There are no winners and losers. And, yeah, it just reminds you, doesn't it, of how horrific life can be and how lucky I think a lot of us are. I mean, definitely, I feel very, very, very privileged to be sat here just in the UK where, you know, got a roof over my head and we're not, like, you know, under the threat of war and bombs and all that kind of stuff. So the world can be harsh. How was Amos at WrestleMania and now practically non-existent, said Raw Veggies. Well, I mean, he is a monster. He is a giant. He is someone that delivers the OMG, look at this guy effect if you've never seen him before. And WrestleMania is definitely one of those shows where a lot of casual people will tune in. And so he is OMG. It's a little bit like Giant Gonzalez at WrestleMania 9. You know, if you watched him in WCW, I think you knew that he was very limited. I didn't watch him in WCW and I didn't know anything about him. That's actually around the time where I started watching wrestling. So for me, it was OMG. Is this really the guy The Undertaker's now got to go up against? Like, I love that story. I can look back on it now and see that he was god-awful. But I love that story. And I think that Amos is kind of the modern-day equivalent. He's tall, he's limited. You bring him in for the odd big show. And I don't know if they're trying to work with him behind the scenes. I hope they are. But I think it's difficult, isn't it, when you've got a giant like that? When you've got a giant like that, I think it is very difficult to get them to remain special if you're going to show them on a regular basis. Because we spoke about it before, Andre the Giant, he used to come in, do a couple of things in a territory, and then be off to the next territory. So you would see Andre once a year, something like that, in your area. He'd come in, win a battle royal, help the babyface, be a mystery tag partner, make the save, whatever it might be. Oh my God, it's Andre the Giant. He looks like an absolute monster, and people would get excited. They would go to the shows, and then he was gone. And then you'd have to wait another year. And he'd be off to the next territory where they would then have to wait another year after that. And so he would just go around doing that. Whereas in the modern age, obviously you've got people that are on TV week in, week out, like Big Show. And Big Show completely lost his aura, right? I mean, they tried to keep it, but it's hard, isn't it, when you're seeing people week in, week out. So I think with Amos, like you've got a giant there. I actually don't mind them not using week in, week out. I really don't feel like I need to see him week in, week out. But when we get to a show, bring him in as a mystery partner, bring him in as someone that's going to make the save. I do wish, though, that we were giving him wins. Because the problem is, when he comes out, he is a giant. He is tall. But we now have kind of took his teeth away. Because now he doesn't feel that dangerous. He doesn't feel that threatening. I don't look at him and think, oh my God, how are we going to beat him or how are we going to get past him? Because we've seen Brock do it and we've seen Braun do it and we've seen quite a few people that have been able to do it. So he's kind of losing, even though we're not seeing him, he's still in a way losing his aura. So yeah, Amos is an interesting one. Amos is an interesting one. I don't know that you can treat him the same as other people on the roster. That would be amazing, though, if you could find a way of using him on a regular basis, but also keep him special. That would be amazing. Maybe you'd have to book him a bit like Roman, where Roman doesn't really wrestle that often, but he's on the shows, comes out, cuts promos, and is involved in like backstage segments. Maybe you'd have to do that with Omos on Raw. Bring him out, he cuts promos, he's backstage, maybe he's got a little faction, he's advising them, he goes off for a little bit, comes back, gets involved in a match, they win it. Maybe you'd have to book him that way to keep him special. Keep him on the show, but keep him special. Don't know. Tricky one to book, that would be. Tricky one to book. But in my opinion, the best use of someone like Omos would be to use him as security for Pierce or Aldis, so that he is seen weekly with a menacing look, but have him work very rarely. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that, having him like just be the security and in the background, and then, you know, he kind of makes sure no one oversteps the mark. He can deal with some people that do to make sure that he still looks like a threat, and then at some point someone's going to step up to him, and then you book the match. And he needs wins. He can't keep losing. He's got to get some wins. He's got to be seen as dangerous as well. So yeah, I don't mind that. Dawn Knight said, I agree with what James Chadwick said on X. Well, I'm fairly confident you won't be able to repeat it here, but let's carry on. Omos should be the one to end Gunther and Roman's streak on one night, each night of WrestleMania. Shout out to James. Are we sure there was no effing and jeffing in there? Are you sure it was that clean? Nathaniel said, I think they should do a body slam challenge story with Omos, where he is built up as someone that no one can body slam until someone like maybe Odyssey Jones does it on a large stage like Mania, or on a large ship. We have a great Mediterranean restaurant, said A. Jobson. Lovely. A. Jobson, shout out to you. I wouldn't mind having Omos win the Raw World title for a while. Omos, Dabba-Kato, Shanky should have been a faction. Daze knows what I'm like on Twitter. I just think you misunderstood, James. That's all it is. You just misunderstood. You know, you're so passionate that it just comes out with F's and Jeffs, doesn't it? That's all it is. Just so... that it just comes out with, you want to punctuate it with a few F's and Jeffs. That's all it is. I think you're the cuddly teddy bear of the wrestling community. I really do. I just think you misunderstood. Big Time said, is there something up with the lights or camera? You look out of place with the set compared to last night. I look out of place. There is a slight difference with the light, yeah, to be honest. My light, for some reason, isn't working. So I turned it on and it didn't work. So I've got a smaller light that's closer. So rather than a big light far away, I've got a smaller light that's closer, which is probably just giving a slightly different effect. But it's still working. You can still see me. I'm happy with that. But I will try and get the other one sorted. But Daze, it's nothing but a G thing, said, but it ain't nothing but a G thing. You missed some members chat, says James. Let's get to them. Jim said, thanks to the community for the memberships. And James said, NXT is going to be fire tonight. I'm glad that AEW ain't on too. Yeah, well said. I agree. I don't like them on at the same time. I know that you get the war and people get excited by that and all that kind of stuff. But I would rather have them on different nights, because you want to just be able to watch the show. And to be honest, you know, I didn't want to miss Edge's first match, and I don't want to miss timeless Tony Storm. But yeah, having them on at the same time, like it means that for me, you had to choose one or the other. And NXT, I'm just having so much fun with this show at the moment that this was the direction we went. In fact, last week's show is on right now. They're showing last week's show at the moment as we build towards this week's show. It's still pretty crazy seeing Cena in the ring and all the people crammed in, chanting his name. It was a real fun show last week. I don't think it was a show that was 10 out of 10 by any means, but as a star power spectacle, it was pretty impressive. Dort Knight said, what would be on your Mount Rushmore of pay-per-views? It could be any 4 pay-per-views. I need to do that, actually. I might save that for like the members, because I'm still doing Mount Rushmore stuff. I didn't do one last week because I did a stream, but maybe we'll do one this week. And maybe I'll do that one. How about that? Maybe that'll be this week's. I'll jot it down. I'm making a note. Dort Knight. Mount Rushmore. Pay-per-view. Done. Keep your eyes peeled. Do you like the Young Bucks as EVPs, said Seth freaking Rollins. I don't like the idea of wrestlers that are active being in charge. We've seen it time and time again where I don't know that it gets abused. I think they try to do what's right for the business, and sometimes what's right for the business is putting themselves over, but sometimes that's also not right for the business, and actually the alternative would have been more successful and maybe more satisfying. If we look back at the territories where you had like world-class championship wrestling, WCCW from Texas, the Von Erichs, I think like Fritz, the guy that owned that territory, I think he was like their world champion like 20 times or something. Like he carried that belt longer and more often than anyone else. And he was the owner of the territory. And then that's not an isolated incident. If you look at the AWA, Vern Gagne's territory, Vern made himself champion and he carried the belt. I mean, part of it makes sense because you can trust yourself, right? You can trust yourself. You know that you're not going to bail on yourself. You know that you're going to do the promos and have the matches and tell the stories in the way that you want it to be done because it is you that's doing it. And I don't know that it's an egotistical thing. I don't know that it's actually I'm going to do it because I want to be the star. I genuinely think that it comes down to maybe a lack of trust in some of the other talent in being able to do the job as good as you can do it. I think if you really know what you want to do, and look at Vince. I mean, even Vince during like the height of WWE in the Attitude Era, even he was the company's biggest heel. He jumped into the ring and he was like getting stuck in with Stone Cold. That was slightly different. I don't know that was because he didn't trust other people. I just think that one maybe worked a bit better because if Stone Cold needs someone to stand up to, the boss of the company is a pretty good one because everyone that goes to work is going to have a boss. And I'm sure lots of people get on with their bosses, but standing up to the boss is kind of one of those things, isn't it? It's like standing up to your teacher at school. Standing up to your boss is something that I think a lot of people can relate to. So, you know, maybe there was a slightly different reason for that, but that's another example of someone that is in charge of the company that's active in the ring. And so I think having like Kenny and the Bucks and everyone be executive vice presidents, yet also still wrestling, I don't know how wise that is. I mean, thankfully, they're overruled by Tony, so I don't think they're allowed to get too out of control. But they still wield, obviously, more power than the rest of the roster. And I don't know that that has been a positive for AEW. I don't know that that has been something that has made the company better. I think that when you've got an unbalanced locker room like that, I can't imagine that that's a good thing. So, no, I would rather that they weren't executive vice presidents. But as I said, I think Tony runs that show, runs that ship. I think we all know. I think it became apparent quite quickly that it actually wasn't Kenny and the Bucks. It's not really their show. It's Tony's show. Because when AEW first started, there was a lot of goodwill towards that show because you had the Elite and you had like a lot of people like, yeah, they've turned WWE down. They're going to go on their own. No one said they could do 10,000 tickets at All In, and they did. Now they're going to start their own promotion. This is amazing. So when it first started, All Elite Wrestling was about the Elite. It was about Kenny. It was about the Bucks. It was about Hangman. It was about Cody. They managed to bring in Moxley. They managed to bring in Jericho, and that was the core of it, right? And then Tony was the guy that was putting the money up, basically. But as time has gone by, that's not what the company is anymore. The company is now Tony's company. It's Tony's company, and Tony is the one that is making all the headlines. He's the one that's doing the press conferences. He's the one that's doing the interviews, and he's the one that obviously overalls, because he's putting the money up. He overalls everyone and everything. He's over the top of it all. He's in charge of it all. So as time has gone by, the company has really shifted. I don't see it as their company anymore. I see it as Tony's company. Which it probably has been since day one, to be honest, you know. It's just that I think we didn't know much about Tony. I didn't know much about him. I thought there was a chance he would be like a silent backer and he would leave them to it. And who knows, maybe they thought that's kind of how things might work as well, but that is not how things have gone. But listen, you know, they have got some great talent over there. They've got TV time. They've got a fan base that they can build on. They as every show is an opportunity for them to turn the page. Every show, like tomorrow, is an opportunity for them to put on the show that I think people are looking for. And I think what people are looking for is they're looking for really good wrestling in ring. They're looking for really solid stories. They're looking for characters that are compelling and like maybe cut down on the silliness. Like there's a lot of silliness that has come in, and I don't really know why, to be honest. You know, the MJF Adam Cole segments, for example, like, you know, don't forget this is a company, and I know we keep banging them over the head about it, but this is the company that said they were going to be sports based. This is the company that said they were going to be the alternative to WWE. Yeah, we've seen as much, if not more, silliness coming out of AEW, you know, with like Sue and best friends hugging during matches and mimosa matches and MJF and Jericho singing and doing a whole dance routine and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. And now what we're doing with Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, and like, you know, there's been a lot of that, you know, kangaroo kicks and all this kind of stuff. Like, there's been loads of stuff that you'd look at and say, like, is this really what the fans signed up for AEW? Is this really what was presented as the WWE alternative? Because it just sort of feels like they've lost their way and they've lost their identity. That's how it sort of feels to me. It's become, in my opinion, a poor man's version of WWE. That's what it's become to me. It's become a version of WWE that I don't enjoy watching. It's like WWE from an alternate universe. But what I will say is they do have some really good matches. If you was to have a look throughout the year and pick out like the best AEW matches, you're gonna have some bangers, man. It's gonna be some. I mean, CM Punk against Samoa Joe at All In. I really, really enjoyed that match. One of my favorite matches from the other year was when it was Hangman and Kenny against the Bucks. I loved that match. Acclaimed against Swerve and Keith Lee. I really enjoyed that match. So they're very consistent at putting on like match of the year contenders for me. So that's something they're doing well. But there's just so much other stuff that needs changing and overhauling and changes with presentation and new, the Brandon Cutlers of the worlds, like the Alex, whatever his name is. There's a lot of people on the outside of the ring that are just cringe. I don't know. We can sit and talk for a long time about stuff that I would change about AEW, but it's up to them, isn't it? It's up to them. They know their audience, but the problem is, are they catering to their audience and not growing, or are they trying different things and trying to grow? I would think they're trying to grow, but I think they've got stuck into a groove where they are happy. I don't know if they're happy with the numbers they're getting, but it feels like they are pleasing their audience and not necessarily trying to step out of their comfort zone. I think what's happened is they found a sweet spot that pleases their audience. And I think they keep going to that, and they keep because they keep doing similar stuff. Orange Cassidy opening the show, I don't know how many weeks in a row. And him being presented in as champion at the start of the show, and then the little silly moments that we get. I feel like they've got a format, they've got a strategy that pleases their fan base, but it's not attracting new viewers. They've stayed at that 850 for so long. There's been no movement on it, but where we're looking at it and saying you're not growing, they might be looking at it and saying, yeah, but we're not declining either, right? So it's hard to know what their mentality is. Are they happy that they're holding their own, or are they disappointed that they're not hitting that million mark more often? Because last year I counted, it was 13 times they did 1 million in the ratings last year. Now it's they're very steady at 850. But the problem is, you might be steady at 850 now doing what you're doing, but eventually people will get bored of it, and then you're going to need something new. And if you don't deliver that, your average will be 750 soon. And then your average will be 600,000 soon. And it will start to... And we know that TV ratings are going that way anyway as well. So, you're fighting against the tide as it is. Chances are in 2 years, your ratings are going to be lower, just like how WWE's have continued to decline. So you might be sitting pretty at 850 now, but that ain't where you're going to be in a few years unless you find something that's going to really capture the imagination and get you back up to, say, the 1 million mark. Because at least if you decline, then you decline back down to 850 rather than being at 850 and decline down to 750. So... yeah, God, there's so much we could talk about with that company, but everyone's got slightly different opinions on it. But that's my honest opinion. Big Time said, Raw seemed to be, no pun intended, in the mud. 1.4 for a season premiere. Obviously NFL, but SmackDown just did 2.4. The trends for both shows is night and day. Matt said, the Drew McIntyre-Rollins story has got a potential to be a rivalry with multiple angles and multiple title matches and belt switches. Best Drew version in 3 years, maybe 7 years. El Sean said, I think a good chunk of fans are enjoying AEW because of the wrestling and the skits. Fans of wrestling are enjoying seeing their favorites on TV on a regular basis. Dark Knight said, AEW is like the Europa League. It can be fun whilst you are in, but eventually you need Champions League football. I feel that MJF Adam Cole story has now outstayed its welcome. I want to see it go somewhere, says Jim. Steven said, Daze, hope you are well. Good show last night. Good to see England qualify for Euro 2024. Now for Ipswich to win on Friday and go to the top of the championship. It wasn't just NFL, it was the Cowboys, says Puff Dutch. I have been thinking that WWE should make a tag team Money in the Bank contract. Do you agree, said JCW? It's something that's been mentioned a few times. I wouldn't do it on the Money in the Bank show because I think it's a little bit like the argument for a tag team Royal Rumble, because you could do it where the winners get a shot at the tag championships, but I also think you don't want to be doing 3 Royal Rumbles. You don't want a men's singles, women's, and then a men's tag team. And I feel the same for Money in the Bank as well. You don't want 3 Money in the Bank ladder matches. To be honest, even 2 is a little problematic, only because the Money in the Bank match is a crazy match. It's a crazy match that's a ladder match. That's, you know, you've got these spots with ladders, people jumping off ladders, OMG moments. Well, if you do that at the start of the show, you're not leaving yourself loads of different things that you can do at the end of the show. Like, it's hard, isn't it? I mean, it's the same with like War Games as well. Like, we do 2 of those now, one for the women. Same with Elimination Chamber. Like, it's a problem because there's only so much that you can do with a ladder. There's only so much you can do inside an Elimination Chamber. There's only so much that you can do with a Royal Rumble. And presenting 2 on the same show is the right thing to do because, as I said, I am a believer in women's wrestling. I'm not someone, because there are people out there that are like, you know, push it to the sidelines kind of a thing. I'm a big believer in it. I love women's wrestling. I enjoy watching women's wrestling. I always have. But so I'm not saying stop doing it, but I'm definitely saying I don't think you could then add a 3rd. So the only thing is, could you potentially do a little mini one on like the Go Home episode of Raw or the Go Home episode of SmackDown? Something to just wet the whistle. So it's like everyone knows that the Go Home episode is where you get the 10-team battle royal for the tag teams. And that just gives people a little glimpse of what they could expect if they've never seen a Royal Rumble before, or even if you have, at least it might get you excited. It gives a bit more value to the Go Home. I suppose in a way it's a little bit like the Andre Battle Royal being on the Go Home now for WrestleMania. I actually don't mind it. I know that a lot of people would prefer that it was on WrestleMania, but I think that it does make the Go Home a bit more exciting because it still feels like something to achieve. If you win the Andre Battle Royal, it still feels like a decent achievement. Nowhere near like winning a Rumble. Nowhere near, right? And I wish the winner got a prize rather than just that trophy, like an actual title shot, you know? Because that trophy, we see it once a year. We never see it again. You know, Bobby won it this year. You wouldn't know. He doesn't get announced as the Andre winner. I don't even know if it's on his graphic when he comes out. It probably is, in all fairness, on his graphic, but he doesn't get announced as the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner for 2023 or anything. He didn't get a title shot for it. So yeah, I feel that that being on the Go Home just means that it provides something a bit exciting for the Go Home. You know, it's not going to be just video packages, and maybe you could do like a tag team Royal Rumble 10 team that you just chuck onto a Go Home thing. But as I said, I wouldn't put it onto the actual pay-per-view because I think it's hard to book 2 Rumbles, let alone 3. Undercover Manager said, who's the pick for the next GM? I have no idea who they could use. Maybe Byron Saxton or Booker T. What have you heard? We haven't. No, they haven't even looked at stuff like that. So, do you mean for like NXT, the next? I don't even know that there will be, because we haven't been using one. We've just been using Sean. So, like last week, we just had a special GM. But the reason why we had that was because I think they wanted Cody to make that match between Dominic and Ilya. So I think they knew that Cody announcement segment needed to have a bit of a surprise element to it, because I don't know if you remember, he announced the men's breakout tournament and there was crickets. No one reacted. Then he announced the Dusty Tag Classic and there was a nice little, that's cool, little reaction, as that's a bit more exciting. But it was kind of obvious that's what the announcement was going to be. So I think they just spiced it up by saying, and I'm also going to be GM, like special GM for this week. And as a result, I'm going to make Dominic against Ilya for later on tonight. And apparently he has made another decision for that's going to be this week. So we need to find out what that is. The rumor is that it's Trick that's going to be added to that number one contenders match. I have not seen that from any good sources. It's literally just word doing the round on social media. So it's really not coming from a good place. But that's the rumor that I've seen. That's the only rumor that I've seen. So, but I don't think they're looking to like bring in like a new GM. We haven't had one. It's been Sean that's been doing that, and I think Sean will just continue to do that, to be honest. I think the reason we did it last week was just to give a little more to Cody's announcement, and also so that he could make that match. Robert, shout out to you, bud. I hope you're well. Will Ospreay is a free agent in 2024. MJF is a free agent in 2024. Who would be perfect for WWE? We need to enjoy wrestling. That's why it escapes all the negative going on in the world. Good point. I think that both would be perfectly fine for WWE. I think that MJF would feel like the one if you was to pick one between them, because MJF, WWE is very promo heavy. We know that the matches don't matter as much. In WWF, they are not looking for 5-star matches. They don't care about 5-star matches. I think the talent does. And I think they obviously want to provide matches that have moments and excite the fans. But they have no interest in what Dave Meltzer's going to score their matches. They don't give a flip. So for them, it's about entertainment. It's about putting on the most entertaining matches. And to be honest, Ospreay's million miles an hour, flipping all over the place style, you can certainly present it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was tweaked and if it was dialed back and if it was kind of made to be a little bit more WWE friendly, if you will. I think that because I feel like Ricochet can always do a lot more than what he does. Like he does a fair bit, but he punctuates the matches with moments rather than just this. You know, Ricochet on the indie scene or Ricochet in AEW, I think you would see him be a lot more like a Phoenix, like a Penta, whereas it's just sort of held back a little. And I think Ospreay would be the same as well. But I think that would help Ospreay. I think that would only be a good thing for him. So I think that he would actually have to slightly adjust his style to suit the kind of WWE taste, if you will. Whereas promo-wise, you know, obviously you wouldn't get away with the swearing or whatever. I think that he would be fine promo-wise. I think he would be a great addition to the roster. But what you get from MJF is you get someone that's already wrestling a WWE style. He is someone that it isn't that flashy. He keeps things quite simple from a moveset point of view. He's not like a technical master. He's not an in-ring technician. He's not a brawler either. He's just got wrestling ability, you know. He can just go in there and just put on a wrestling match, a pretty bog standard wrestling match. He's very good at selling. He's very good at bringing out like the drama in a match. He's good with the pacing of a match. There's elements to his wrestling that I think are very good. I think he's a very good wrestler. I don't think he's the best in the world. Which he claims to be. I don't think he's the best in the world, but I think that he is a very good wrestler. He and his style would lend itself to WWE immediately. But I think his promos as well. I know a lot of people say that if he went to WWE, it would take away the edge of what he does, but to be honest, I don't think it should, because I think he should still be able to get personal. And to be honest, for a promo to be effective, you shouldn't need to be swearing. I think that a lot of the stuff that he says is stuff where he's digging into reality. If you think about like when he did his promo with William Regal, and he was talking honestly about the email that he received, and he was talking about like real life stuff, and he was using that as fuel for his promo. I can't see any reason why you still can't do that. Why can't you still use that as fuel for your promo? I mean, like, you don't have to swear. You don't have to, you know, and actually even AEW have cut down on like the stuff, because before he would do things with the crowd, but even AEW have brought rules in now where like they've really cut back on that. Because don't forget, he threw a alcoholic drink in a child's face, which I know is hilarious, but also you can understand what that mother was thinking, right? I mean, she was beyond livid, apparently. And that could have resulted in some serious legal action as well. So as hilarious as it sounds, there could have been some pretty serious repercussions there. And Tony had to go into full-on flipping panic mode and try and, get the kid to meet the wrestlers, have them go backstage, all this kind of stuff, to try and calm that situation down. Like, you can't do that in WWE, but to be honest, you can't do that in AEW now, because they've cut down on that. So, I think that he would lend himself, obviously, easily to WWE. But I think the stuff that he would lose from his promos is stuff that he could afford to lose, and I don't think it would damage him. I don't think it would damage his promos. I think, if anything, sometimes those kinds of limitations, the PG limitations, they force you to be more creative. Because where you could just use the swear words or whatever, like, you have to come up with more creative insults. And sometimes that can be more interesting. So I actually think the reverse. I actually think that it would be an interesting challenge for him. And it would be better for his development if there were just a few more kind of parameters that were put in place. So, a lot of people say that, like, PG is a load of rubbish and we should go back to, like, how it was with the Attitude Era. But I disagree with that, because just because something's PG doesn't mean it has to be silly. Like, the fact that we do silly things is only because that was how Vince liked it, right? It wasn't like it's PG, so it has to be Teletubbies, right? PG just means that you can't do certain things. It doesn't mean that you have to do silliness. It just means that you can't do, like, hardcore swearing or nudity and stuff like that. But WWE is, if it had loads of swearing in it and it had loads of nudity in it, like, I don't know, would it be a better product? It would be a different, slightly different product. It would be a more adult product. You'd alienate, like, the kids from it, because they wouldn't be able to watch. So, it'd be like a more adult themed product. And maybe that would be more enjoyable to some people. But as I said, like, I think you can do PG, but just not have to do the silliness and still cater to, like, a wide audience. So I think that would be an interesting challenge for MJF. I think it'd be an interesting challenge for Ospreay as well, because you can really get away with a lot in New Japan. Certainly in your promos. I mean, they just swear like troopers over there. So I think it'd be an interesting challenge for like Ospreay as well. And I think he would have to make a lot more adjustments than what MJF would have to make if he was coming over. But I've never been sold on MJF coming in. I know that we went through that period of him, like, cutting those promos, saying that he can't wait for 2024. But I always believed that was something that Tony had signed off on, I don't believe for a second that MJF was going on to Dynamite and cutting promos about Tony and talking about, like, going to WWF, and now he can't wait for 2024 and all that stuff. I don't believe that was happening without Tony's sign off, right? To me, that was part of the show. And I know a lot of people got excited because they really believe that MJF was desperate to come to WWE, and he actually might be. In real life, he might be. In real life, I think he will have a decision to make, but I don't think that what you heard on TV was the truth. I don't think that's the truth. I think he will have a decision, and he may leave, and he may go to WWE. But I'm certainly not going to base it on anything I've seen on Dynamite, because to me, that was all just part of the show. That was all something that Tony and MJF were presenting together. So it could be that Tony gives MJF a monster new contract, bigger than what WWE are willing to give him, and MJF takes the money and resigns. If you stay with AEW, I'll build the promotion around you. You'll be my guy. You'll be my biggest paid superstar. You'll be the face of this company. Or you can go to WWE and take your chances. The thing is, though, if I'm MJF, if I go to WWE and take my chances, if it doesn't work, I always know I can go back to AEW. I can always go back. Tony will always take me back. So, that's got to be tempting, isn't it? If you're MJF, to go to WWE and roll the dice. Because if it works, you're in the biggest promotion and you're going to be one of the biggest stars. If it doesn't work, you can always leave and go back to AEW. So I think there's a good chance he does come over to WWE. I think there's a very good chance. But, that is not based on anything I've seen from the TV show. Dawn Knight said, who had the biggest impact internationally, Harry Kane or Kane from WWE? So that's interesting, isn't it? That's interesting. I would say Harry Kane, because I think more people watch football than watch wrestling. And so I think that Harry Kane, who's been in the Premier League, Premier League's one of the most watched leagues in the world. That would be an interesting one. If you had a picture of Harry Kane and a picture of Kane from WWE and you went to the average person in the street all around the world, I would be very interested to know. I mean, if we went to our friends in Cambodia and had two pictures, I feel like they would know Kane. I honestly don't know if they would know Harry Kane, but I know the Premier League is watched all over the world. It's hard for me to gauge because I'm just here in the UK, and so Premier League is on all the time. But, if I was to go to Azerbaijan, our friends in Azerbaijan, if I was to go to Azerbaijan, would they know Harry Kane? Would they know Kane? I feel like they would know Kane. Would they know Harry Kane? I feel like they would. Premier League is serious, big deal. That's a fun one. I like it. There's a video of Cody talking to Trick on NXT Anonymous, says Alex Bliss Gamer. Alex Bliss Gamer, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Aubrey said Cambodia would definitely know Kane. Cambodia have come through for us so many times. I think they would know anything we asked them. Those crazy cats over in Cambodia, I've no doubt they know their stuff. Whatever we want to ask them, I think they've got the answer. Bobby said, I think MJF is already signed long-term. The whole contract ended in 2024 is a work, says Bobby. Could be true, yeah. I mean, if you're Tony, you are getting that deal done, aren't you? You are getting that deal inked. You are not waiting for that deal to run out and then starting negotiations. Like, you're doing it now. So I have no doubt that talks will have took place. But if it's signed or not, I genuinely don't know. But yeah, I agree. It could be. And we find out a little further down the road. Godfather So said, Daze, I'm drinking that Demolition. Smashed, if you want to say. Do you think I could be a special guest on your show? I'm usually lifted. Do you remember when Demolition drew 1 and 2? We just spoke about that. I do remember when Demolition drew 1 and 2 on the Royal Rumble. Relap Fuji. Well, you are a special guest on the show. I read out your comments. That part of the show was dedicated to you. But funny you mentioned about Demolition during 1 and 2 because that only got mentioned earlier on in the stream. What about Michael Caine? Good shout there, Dave. Good shout. Michael Caine, Harry Kane, and Kane. Good shout. Big Time said, any predictions on an NXT number tonight? Last week against AEW, it did 921. Tonight should be healthy retention. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to drop in it because last week they had Cena, Undertaker, all them kind of. Did people that tuned in to watch Undertaker and watch Cena and watch Cody, did they see enough to want to come back next week? I certainly don't think we're going to get more people tuning in this week. I don't think that number's going to go up from what we had. So I think we can agree it's going to drop. But how much does it drop? I mean, the show had been drawing 800,000 anyway, 800 to 850 because of Becky, but I don't think Becky's advertised for the show tonight. In fact, I'm not sure there's really many big names that are advertised tonight. So I actually think it's going to drop considerably because I think people will tune in if there's something to tune in for, but they're not going to tune in, I don't think, for the Bada Boom, Bada Bing Battle Royal. The number one contenders of Carmelo against Baron Corbin against Dijak, is that going to bring them in? Are they going to tune in for Tegan Nox against Lyra Valkyria? Because to my knowledge, they're the only things that have been announced. So, I don't know, man. I think it's going to drop a good couple of 100,000. I could see this doing in the 700s because it's been doing 800s because of Becky, but Becky's not been advertised. So, yeah, I'm going to say 740, 740. I'll go that. Maybe a little higher, maybe 770. But that's the kind of ballpark I'm looking at. 740, 770, around that sort of area. Why? What do you lot think? What do you think this number will do? Tyler said, do you think Dragunov will be pulled to the main roster soon? When would that happen? Trying to think. I mean, will we do a superstar shakeup? I don't feel like we've done one in ages. We tended to do those around like the end of the year, kind of as we went into the new year. To be honest, no, because he's champion, so I think he would need to lose the title first. And then what are we actually calling him up for? Because we don't need him in December, because there's nothing happening in December. And I think one of the shows at least tends to be taped because of Christmas. So there's no pay-per-view. There's one of the shows gets, at least one of the shows gets pre-recorded. And actually in the past, we've done a best of show instead, where we've actually looked back at the year. So I can't say there's anything in December that we need him for. We're already getting towards the end of October. We're not going to use him for Crown Jewel. So unless we need him specifically for, say, Survivor Series, I don't think we call him up this year. And so that'll take us to next year, where if he has lost the title, he could be in the Rumble, and then maybe we use him, like, you know, on the shows after the Rumble, and the Rumble is maybe a way of bringing him to the main roster. So I would say that might be an opportunity. But all of a sudden then, you need to have something for him to do at WrestleMania. And I honestly don't know if we're going to have something for him to do at WrestleMania. If there's a plan and something that they want to do with him for WrestleMania, then maybe the Rumble could be where he comes up. But before you know it, WrestleMania will have been and gone, and then you've got the night after WrestleMania, and there's probably a good chance that he comes up on the night after WrestleMania. I hope that we still make the night after WrestleMania a big deal, to be honest. I hope that we still really invest in that, because the past few years, like going back a long way now, actually, the Raw after WrestleMania has been garbage. It's been really underwhelming. Even this year was really bad. And this year was affected by Vince. I think Vince did make changes to the script, but I don't think the changes he made was to stop a load of NXT people coming up or to stop a load of returns. I think he changed some of the matches, but I don't think he stopped a load of people from, like, and there was a real lack of call-ups and returns and surprises and cool moments. There was a big lack of that. There was a big lack of that. So I can't say that I personally blame Vince for the Raw after WrestleMania being underwhelming, even if he did change a load of what the matches were planned on being. So hopefully we're going to invest in that going forward. That's something I'd like to see from Triple H. Make the Raw after WrestleMania back to what it was. Just a crazy, anything could happen. You know, that's the show that Brock Lesnar returned on. That's the show that Dolph Ziggler cashed in on. That's the show that Paige came to congratulate AJ and ended up getting a title match and ended up winning the Women's Championship, the Divas Championship, even though she was the NXT Women's Champ at the time. Like, that show was like call-ups of Enzo and Cass, and I think Revival got called up on that show, and you know, there was returns, and man, it's just anything goes. Beach balls in the crowd, wacky chants, Roman being booed for about 10 minutes following WrestleMania 33. I mean, just so much stuff went down on those shows. I'd love to see us go back to that. Right, NXT has started, but at the moment it is just a recap of what happened last week, so we haven't actually gone over to this week's show yet. Right, big shout out to Matt. Hope you're doing well, buds. Matt said, Daze, if you was a forest villager, would you be someone who enjoys the village life and occasionally goes out on a hunt, or someone who lives for the hunt and occasionally goes back to the village? No, I would be village life, goes out on the hunt. I'd be that way around. I think I'm someone that enjoys being around people and enjoys like socializing, and like, you know, I enjoy like going out for meals. We go down the pub a few times, like a month with my family, not my extended family, just my mum and my dad and whatever. And we'll go down, we'll have a few drinks, and we'll have some foods. And I enjoy doing that. And yeah, I don't know, I just enjoy being around people. I don't think I'd want to be out on my own and then just come back occasionally. I think I'd rather be in the village, going out, than out the village, coming in. Right, Matt, appreciate the support. We are going to start with the Bada Boom, Bada Bing Battle Royal. Russell Andy said, do you think Cora will be back on NXT? What do you think? I mean, I think no, because it's been so long. It's been ages. So I'm thinking no. I'm thinking that we are working with her and getting her ready for the main roster now. But I'm not convinced on that. We could easily bring her back. Easily bring her back. But we did do a big thing about her going. And it's been ages. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks. And I don't think she's injured. I don't think she's dealing with an injury. Damon Kemp just got eliminated. So we've got the Bada Boom, Bada Bing, Battle Royal. Tag teams are in there. I think Drew Gulak just got eliminated as well. Nima and Price seem to be cleaning house at the moment. Tank is on the outside of the ring. Nah. Hey. Goodbye is being chanted. Goodbye. Na. Okay, so we've got Gallus in there. We've got the Creeds in there. We've got Nima and Price in there. We've got Hank and Tank. We've got Anofi and Blades. We've got Los Lotharios, if they're still going by that name. I can see Chase U in there as well. Is that Brawling Brutes? Is that Butch in there? It is, yeah. So Butch is in there as well. I can see we've also got Briggs and Jensen as Wolfgang. Looks like he's about to be eliminated. Again, being dragged to the edge of the ring. Forearm strike there by Wolfgang. So we've got... Is that Briggs on the edge of the ring, is it? Against the ropes. Top rope. Okay, so Briggs and Jensen just both got eliminated. So they're out. So if you are just joining us, bada boom, bada bing, Battle Royal underway. Daze, WWE Tours, Germany. I saw, yeah, you mentioned it earlier, but Edward said, Daze, would you say you're big enough to ever get on a Misfits card? No. I don't think I'm big enough to get on a Misfits card. Plus also, I'm not skilled enough to be on a Misfits card. Wow, that looks like a good dinner, doesn't it? That looks like a good meal that Stax and Tony are enjoying. They're sat on that platform, enjoying their foods. Adam said it's still why Cora's not on NXT. She is really scared of her current boyfriend and what he might do all over again. Forearm strikes. What? She's scared of Bron Breakker. Kicks coming in by Julius, Brutus. Shot coming in by Wolfgang. Oh, he gets eliminated. So is that Gallus gone? Brutus just collided into Coffee. I think that just eliminated Gallus. Tony and Stax, they are having such a great looking meal. Some red wine as well. I'm hungry and I'm jealous. Back elbow by Butch. If Tegan beats Lyra, she'll get added to the Halloween Havoc NXT Women's Championship next Tuesday, meaning Becky would be defending against Indy on Monday in a triple threat next Tuesday. Do you know, I respect that, though. Wow. Scripps just came in and cleaned house. Scripps just came in, launched himself at the Brawling Brutes, and also... is that Nima and Price that have gone? We've really got down to the final three teams here. We got the Creeds, we got Los Lotharios, and we've also got Chase U. So we are down to the final three. Scripps just jumping in and cleaning house. Rhea is calling the shots on Priest's cash-in, says Bobby. If they drop the tag titles in Saudi, Rhea will have Priest cash in, but the swerve is for Judgment Day to screw him for Drew to win. Double face heel turn. The swerve is for Judgment Day to screw him and for Drew to win a double face heel turn. Creeds have gone. Creeds have gone. Bobby, shout out to you. Wrestling said we need to get streaming from the seating area the Don is sitting in when you're in Florida. Yeah. Well, if they're going to serve meals like that, lovely. Look at that. Beautiful looking salad as well. Here is Thea and JC. They've come down. Oh, right. So it has just come down to a match now, and we're doing the match straight away. So it is going to be Los Lotharios against Chase U. These are the final two teams in the Bada Boom, Bada Bing Battle Royal. Thea Hale has come down. JC is at ringside. Shoulder tackle there by Duke. I don't really get what we're doing with Thea and JC. I mean, like, they sort of left Chase U, like, but they're still sort of hanging around. And are they face or are they heel? Like, I feel like they're heel, but they're acting face. I don't know, it's all a bit messy. Not in a bad way, just in a, I don't know if you can trust them sort of a way. Like, if they were to cost Chase U tonight, I wouldn't be surprised. If Thea was to trip over Andre Chase, I wouldn't be surprised. One of the real reasons why I said that was because I saw a black eye on Cora Jade's face on one of her Instagram photos. Allegedly, Bron did it to her. I haven't seen this. I mean, if Bron had done that, I think there would be a lot more noise, to be honest. Because there ain't no way WWE is gonna have one of their top stars, like, beating up, like, his girlfriend and her posting pictures of a black eye and everything, like, that... There's not even any news stories on it. I'm just looking. So if I put in Cora Jade and click on news, the results that come back, Cora Jade leaves NXT. Cora makes a naughty suggestion to a female WWE star after bikini photo. Cora comments on Dana Brooks' release. Cora bids farewell to NXT. Cora's current in-ring status well, actually, we could click on that. Her current in-ring status. Let's have a look. Cora has got a lot of eyes on her in NXT, and although she has yet to win the NXT Women's title, she is still proclaiming that the generation of Jade is upon us. The big question is about her whereabouts. Cora Jade hasn't been seen on NXT for a while. Her last match was on July 25th when she defeated Dana Brooke in a kendo stick match. Better Wrestling Experience received a question from a fan about Cora's status. The WWE Insider assured fans that Cora will be back soon. We can only hope that Cora is ready to take on whatever it is that WWE has in store for her. She could do a lot of damage. She is a fast learner. She's achieved a lot whilst being in the Performance Center. That's it. That's all it says about her, and that was a week ago. But yeah, just going down like the latest news, there's no articles or speculation or anything here regarding like anything along those lines. To be honest, what that would feel like is that one of her pictures, she's got a black eye and someone has jumped to a conclusion, right? Which is a pretty dangerous thing to do. I hope you meet Cora and she gives you a black eye for lying, says Trini. The black eye is for a match on NXT against Dana Brooke, says Big Time. Yeah. I would be careful about that because, but again, you know, you've got fake news sites in you. I wouldn't be surprised if someone did a video that like questioned if she had got a black eye from Bron Breakker, you know, just to get clicks and whatever. We've spoke about that a lot recently, so it would not shock me if that was a thumbnail that was out there, or if someone had written it as a article piece. Because that's the kind of speculation that sadly exists in the wrestling world. Right, we are back to NXT. We was at commercial break. Okay, Los Lotharios against Chase U. Shoulder up there by Andre Chase. And we've got Angel Garza. Fully mounted Andre Chase. Throwing down some heavy shots and some not so great looking headbutts. Grabbing Andre, picking him up. He's got him back in the corner. In comes Humberto. I think I don't know if they're called Los Lotharios anymore. I mean, doesn't really matter. I mean, as long as people know who we're talking about. But they could just be Humberto and Angel, or Angel and Humberto. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Andre Chase. We've still got Thea on the outside with some pom-poms. JC out there with some pom-poms as well. Up on the platform, we've got Stax and Tony and some other members of the family. David, shout out to you. tuning in from Scotland. Do you play WWE 2K23? No. If so, did you consider playing on stream against fans? I don't play it. I don't have time. I probably would give it a little go, but to be honest, I've done it in the past where I'm like, yeah, this is the year I'm going to do that and do that kind of content as well. But then I'll buy the game and I'll play a match and then I'll just be like, yeah, right. Don't know. I just never seem to find a wrestling game that like really grabs me and I'm like can't put it down. It's been years and years. I probably have to go back to 2008 since I last played a wrestling game that I just could not put down. And to be honest, even then was I don't know. I don't even know why it was that year. I think that year I just made a proper effort to really get into the game. He's trying to make the tag here, Andre Chase. So no, I don't. I've since 2008, I have not given any of the wrestling games maybe the time they need, but I have bought some and played like the odd match. Lovely belly to belly there by Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson throwing in some shots. Again, throwing in some shots. Whoa, Chase you. Boom. Duke Hudson's such an interesting person. He's been in Chase U so long now. So long. I think it's been really good for him. But when did we make the move on him? When does he start going after like the NXT championship and start really making moves? Like he's been in NXT ages. 1, 2. Save made by Angel as Umberto was being pinned. Thea going crazy on the outside with the pom-poms. Lovely Uranagi, wasn't there? JMB has said 2K22 was the best for me. The stories on My Rise were the best. Joker said, why have you got the USA flag? Shouldn't you put up a European flag? It's still left over from Great American Bash, but so to be honest, that's part of the reason. But the other part of the reason is I really like having some up there. So on some of the other streams, there's just like some bunting. I don't want the same thing on each of the streams. I like having some up there. So it's just left over from Great American Bash and it doesn't bother me. I'm not like, you know, the thing with NXT is that it is based in Florida. This is where the shows come from. They don't really tend to come from anywhere else but the US, so it sort of works. 1. Picks him up, powers him up. Oh my God, monstrous powerbomb by Umberto. That was huge. That was brilliant. There's no way that he didn't feel the effects of that. He absolutely planted Andre Chase. This match has been so much fun. It's been really good. It's a really good opening match. Bada boom, bada bing, Battle Royal didn't stick around very long. We got to these final 2 teams quite quickly. But the match that's followed has been really good. Why has Brutus come down? What's up with Brutus? Why have the Creeds done this? 1, 2, 3. That's a real shame. That's a real shame. Just as I was praising that match, the flipping ending. So Chase U win, which is cool. But they only win because the Creeds came down and interfered. That's a shame. That was a really good match. Should have been clean. Would have been brilliant if it was just someone had picked up the win. Instead, you got the Creeds coming down. Well, listen, I like Chase U. I'm glad they're going to get that opportunity. I like Chase U. Okay, we've got Blair Davenport on screen right now. You escaped like a thief in the night with your biggest win because of an incompetent referee, says Blair. Okay, so she wants Gigi again. Face me at Halloween Havoc. Right, here's Carmelo. Carmelo making his way. How are we still playing that song? I'ma make you fall in love. I don't even know who sings that song, and I don't even know if she's ever had another hit, and I don't even know if that song was a hit. But I remember, like, 2 years ago or something, now she was, it might have only been last year, but either way, I remember her being on the show and singing it on the show. And there's, like, I'm pretty sure it was a theme for summer, and it just sort of stuck around. And now we just always pops up from time to time. I'ma make you fall in love. Don't know the rest of it. I remember she was quite thick, though. I remember that. And I'm not talking about intelligence. Daze, if you got the chance to have one match in WWE, who would you face and why? I would face... If I could have one match in WWE, I would face... Roman Reigns, and I would be destroyed in 3 seconds, because if you're not a wrestler, you shouldn't be having matches, and that goes for me as well. So I would go in and I would be a jobber, and I would job to Roman in 3 seconds, because I know my place. I know my shut your mouth and know your role. And that's my role. My role is a jobber. I am a born jobber. Adam said, Crown Jewel, Saturday, November 4th. The question is, will Roman defend the Gold Universal Championship versus LA Knights? Yeah. He is, isn't he? Isn't it? Is it not been confirmed already? I thought it was done. Yeah, he is. He will. Defo. Maybe Jade will get involved in the Io and Charlotte match on SmackDown, said Wrestle with Andy. Maybe. Chase U seem like an act that has got a ceiling. They can't get past NXT, which is not a bad thing. Oh, I don't know, you know? I don't know. I feel like they could, if you, because the thing is, they are a group, a faction, that can do backstage skits with the Classroom. And so I could imagine them on Raw, and like, because we always go backstage. So could you imagine if like we go backstage and there's like a Classroom and we do like Andre Chase teaching people about, I don't know, great moments from the history of WWE, and he's showing like, look what happened here and this is what we can learn from it. Like, that'd be so cool. It'd be a great way of like just bringing in some of that history from WWE. Like, this week we're going to look at the Macho Man. Look at this entrance here. Like, look at how graceful Miss Elizabeth was, or whatever it might be that they're going to talk about. But, you know, it's going to hit the nostalgia a little bit. I think, you know, it'll give them a little bit of a unique purpose on the main roster. And then, like, they can go out and go after the tag titles. I would very much see them as a group that's not going to be, you know, the top of the division or anything. I would see them as a group that kind of like they are in NXT, like they can struggle with momentum, you know? But I think they could serve a purpose. And I could see them getting some good reactions. So, I don't know. I think I could see them getting to the main roster. But I don't see them being like 20-time tag champs, you know, or anything like that. But on Raw, 3 hours, got to fill some time. They can do some backstage Classroom segments. Yeah. I could see a whole, like, enrolling to Chase U. Like, if you enrolled to Chase U, you could go to the website and you could enroll and you could buy the Chase U shirt. And I wonder what else we could flesh out with it. I think they are missing something with Thea, though. Thea brought so much fun. I could see, like, Akira Tozawa joining them and being in the classroom. And, like, R-Truth being in the classroom. Imagine that. Like, imagine you get sent to class. Like, you need to go back to class. And wrestlers get sent to Chase U. That could be interesting. Or, like, a wrestler gets detention or something. I don't know. I think there's stuff you could do. But it's just if they want to do it. It's just if they want to go in that direction, you know. His beard doesn't look as dark this week. I don't know if it's just the light. Lexus King. Next week, Lexus King arrives. Is this Boomer? Some woman singing. What's your name? New Year's Day. Never heard of him. New Year's Day vampire. Sounds awful. Right. Let's go. The Creeds thought they'd eliminated Angel and Humberto when they threw Humberto over the top. The refs were distracted and missed it. I think it'll be a triple threat next week, says Adam. Here's Mello. Mello don't miss. Okay, Carmelo Hayes making his way out. This could be an interesting segment if we are going to get another person added. Night 1 of Halloween Havoc next week. Schematics. Shout out to you. Schematics fan, not a word that I don't think ever seen written down before. What matches that we could have seen at Fastlane? Fans, hang on. Let's read this. Hello, Daze. What matches that we could have seen at Fastlane 2023? Fans and I wanted to see Roman defend his gold Universal belt again. What is going on with titles not defended at shows? Yeah, well, Roman has got a contract that means he only has to work a certain amount of dates. So he only defends a few times a year. It is a frustration. But this is why Seth's belt was brought into existence. Because even Triple H said it's frustrating. So we've created another championship, another world title. And this one's going to be defended. And it went to Seth. So that's why they created that belt to... so there was an active world championship. Here's Baron. Burn the ships! Burn the ships! Fans should be in the stands, not in the ring. I saw you sitting with John Cena for over an hour. You did the pose with Taker. You got autographs. You got pictures. Maybe you should concentrate on being a superstar more than a fan. It's good. That's a good line, that is. It's a good line. Here's Dijak. Dijak making his way down. I can see we've had a few super chats. We will get to those, my friends. We will get to those. So, Dijak coming down. Very intense. There's a sign in the crowd that says the him era. Corbin's, believe it or not, Corbin's right. I wish he'd had more wins. He's took a fair few L's, hasn't he, Dijak, since coming back. That's Corbin. Carmelo Hayes chant. Hayes with a smile on his face is enjoying the crowd chanting his name. That's good by Dijak. You've never put my name on a jersey, and I'm not afraid of anyone, especially you. He calls him stupid. Carmelo said, you might never have been on a jersey, but I can get one made. Gentlemen, here's Ilya. Instead of talking, you should be concentrating. Instead of talking, you should be concentrating on the fierce battle. I leave you with this. Last week was historic. And before Cody left, here we go. He made one last decision. Tonight's main event will not be a triple threat. It's a fatal four-way. And the last competitor is this man. There we go. Trick is added. Look at Carmelo's face. Look at Carmelo's face. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Hey, is that the guy? Is that the guy? Is that him? Because this is a guy that's got a great look, great size, can do humor, can talk, has got a personality. Let's talk about those ugly ass pants. They are ugly, man. They are ugly. You should be the last one in this building to call anything ugly. This is my moment, says Trick. Mello. I know you're good. It ain't gonna change nothing. Look at your boy, he's shook. You stabbed him in the back. Whilst you was taking pictures with Undertaker, Cena, Cody, this man went into business for himself. This is so good. This is so good. Look at all the little looks and all the little... He's stirring, ain't he, Corbin? Stirring. Trick Mello gang got a bit of drama in it. I know who I am. And I know who he is. I know what it takes to win that NXT championship. I mean, to be honest, they should all just settle down because whoever wins is losing to Elia. Trick, Carmelo, looking at each other. It's got to be what it's got to be. Shots coming in. It's going to be a juicy main event, innit? It's going to be juicy. Carmelo and Trick left alone in the ring. Carmelo standing behind Trick. Carmelo taking the jacket off. Doesn't. Trick Mello gang is all right now, but for how long? Good, wasn't it? I like that. I really like that. Trick could go further on the main roster than Carmelo, but maybe Mello could try to be HBK, being smaller than the Giants, says Here Is the Thing. Fallon Henley just giving a few words of encouragement to the women in the breakout tournament. Here's Tiffany. Did she call her Fallon Huntley? She did call her Fallon Huntley. Fallon was like, it's Henley. Can I just say that I'm finding what Tiffany is wearing? I would say it's a bit Giant Gonzalez-esque, but in female form. It's like they spray painted a vagina on the front of her attire. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking, and I don't know if that's true. But that's what I was thinking. It's like someone got some crayons, some colouring pens, and they drew a good old little vagina on the front of her clothes there. God bless her. I don't know what she said. I was slightly distracted, so I don't know what was said there. But I did catch the Fallon Huntley part. That's pretty funny. Right, Richard said Roxanne is actually the fourth competitor, not Trick Williams. Would you please replace Trick with Roxanne in the poll, please, says Richard. Well, until that change is announced, we'll stick with what we've got. But I like it, man. I really like it. That was a good segment. Not the vagina one, but the Carmelo one. That was good. Kojiko says, my puppy is sleeping. Shh. Now that we've got that out the way, I don't know what the Barbar Reba take a pick. Take the pickle with them nicks tickled. Coach Co, shout out to you, my friends. Just when it felt like we were making sense, we took a detour to Gibberish Town. God bless you, my friend. I hope you are well. I hope you are enjoying NXT and the sprayed on vagina. I'm glad it wasn't just me that was doing a double take on those pants, says Kappa. Good. Kappa, I'm glad it wasn't just me as well. Daze, maybe Trick could end up being the next face of the company and no one sees it coming. Well, I feel like we're discussing that right now, aren't we? So I feel like we can stake claim, can't we? If it does happen, I feel like we can stake claim. I think that if you're going to be the face of the company, there's attributes that you need. And honestly, Trick is ticking a lot of those attributes. Like, he can wrestle. He's got a good size. He looks really athletic. He's fun. But he can be serious. He's getting experience as well. He's only going to keep improving. How old is he? I don't know how old he is. I don't think his age would be an issue. He's 29. His age is fine. He's got another 12, 13 years at least. So, age-wise, we're looking all right with him. I don't know, man. It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's an interesting one. Because normally you can go down that list and with most people, you'll come across something and you go, not sure about this. I mean, really, the only thing you can say about Trick is that he's just not been around the title. But we're starting to do that now. And if he gets the NXT Championship at some point and then has a little run with it, that'll be ticked as well. So, yeah. How funny if it, like, he's been the sidekick to him. He's been the sidekick to Carmelo. How funny if, like these past few months, he has stepped out of that and he is starting to forge his own path. How funny if he does go on to be the biggest star of all of them. He looks great as well. He looks great. And do you know what? We need a black face of the company. Like, I don't think we've really had one. I mean, you could say The Rock at times, but I don't know. Even that's debatable. Hello, is she? But if you think about, like, Roman, Cena, Stone Cold, Hogan, maybe Brett for a short time, maybe Shawn for a short time, maybe Undertaker. You know, going back before that, Bruno, Bob Backlund, Superstar Billy Graham, Pedro Morales. Like, we could really do with a black star. Like, big face of the company, couldn't we? We could really do with that. Well, I didn't catch this. What's her name? I didn't catch her name. Oh, this is the match where I don't know either of them. This is Jada Parker taking on, I think it's like Petrovich or something. Immediately, I'd put her in a tag team with B-Fab. Immediately. Little promo she was doing there had a little bit of rhyme to it. She seems to have a little bit of sass. She has a little bit of attitudes. Straight away, I was like, oh man, I could see this girl in Hit Row. And then I was thinking, don't need another woman in Hit Row because we've got B-Fab. But then I was thinking, well, you could put her with B-Fab as a tag team. But this is the first time I'm seeing her, so I would probably be bringing B-Fab down rather than taking her up, you know. I wonder what we're going to do with Hit Row going forwards. Ooh. Kick coming in. She's already got a rip in her tights. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm not really rooting for anyone here. I don't know either of these women. This is our first opportunity to watch them. I'd imagine they've probably appeared on like NXT Level Up. But I don't watch that show. She definitely needs better tights. Whatever these tights are, they're way too thin. She's got like so many rips that have appeared in them now. She's got one close to her buttock. Shoulder barge as well. And down goes Carmen. I like how heavy-handed she's being. Working on the arm. That Carmen going down. She is in full control. She does keep going back to the same moves, though. I think the moveset's quite limited. Kick to the back, a little bit weak by Carmen, but nice agility. Over by the ropes. Working on the arm. Into the corner. Picking her up. Putting her in between the ropes. Always like this. Shot to the midsection. I wondered if she was going to do the double knees. that's a bit different. Bounced off the rope, came down with her buttocks as Carmen was lay in between the middle ropes. Sasha used to do that, but double knees off the top. Whereas she used her buttocks instead. It's one for the pervs, innit? Nice little submission hold at the moment by Jada Parker. Jada Parker's not a bad name, is it? Either Jada Parker. Jada Parker. Knee to the midsection. She's definitely getting more offense in, isn't she? The other girl ain't really got... That was a lovely little leg sweep by Carmen. Carmen going over by the ropes, charging over. Down goes Jada. Carmen, discus clothesline. Over to the ropes. Quite roll. Kick. Very agile with her kicks, isn't she? She's got quite a bit of kick variety. I don't know what she used to do, but another kick to the lower back. Yeah, submission. And she taps out Jada Parker. Weird little match. I mean, I suppose it's the right way of doing it. So you give Jada Parker, like, all the offense, make her look like a monster, and then she ends up losing. Because, to be honest, the Carmen girl will get another opportunity. Carmen Petrovic. She'll get another opportunity to show what she can do against Lola Vice. So what we just saw from Parker is that's all we're going to get for now. It's okay. It was all right. All right. Here's Tegan, and there's Natalia. I believe in you. Let's go. Tegan and Natalia. The boat. There's Tegan. Do they know Natalia's there? That's a great surprise, isn't it, if you didn't know Natalia was there? Like, do you know what? I'm a bit disappointed that's not a bigger reaction. I'm a bit disappointed the crowd aren't more excited to see Natalia. Like, Natalia's absolute guaranteed Hall of Famer. Tegan versus Lyra. This should be a good little match, this. Looking forward to this. Mitchell said, I'm on board for Carmen. Great moveset. Mitchell, hope you're well. Hope you're well. James, shout out to you, my friend, said, I've been watching since 2021. James, is it Haro? Appreciate the support, my friends. Is it still muted? Is it still muted? Oh. No, I was just saying about how, over 3 years ago, the pandemic stuff, and how crazy that is, that it's been 3 years, and remembering about, like, us having the news coming through about it being lockdown and is WrestleMania going to go ahead and all of that, and it's just mental. Because James just said that he's been watching since 2021. And I was saying, like, man, if you go back to, like, 2020 when you had, like, the pandemic, that's crazy. That it's been 3.5 years. That's crazy. It feels like it was about 8 months ago. That does. With the pandemic and lockdown and all of that stuff. It really doesn't feel like it was over 3.5 years ago now. So it's freaky, man, to think about it that way. It's really weird. So, yeah, thanks for freaking me out, James. Appreciate it, bud. Appreciate it. Right, here we go. Lyra against Tegan Nox. We are 8 minutes away. 8 minutes away from our halftime scores. So we'll do halftime scores. Lyra working on the arm of Tegan. Tegan grabbing the arms of Lyra. This is a match I was really looking forward to because we're talking about the top end of NXT and we're talking about the bottom end of Raw. Not that Tegan's bad, just that she has not had a chance to really get going since she came back. We haven't done loads with her. So she is working on Lyra. Now Tegan digging in her knuckle into the side of Lyra. Lyra working on Tegan's arm. Going round the back, grabbing the head. Love that. Love that by Lyra. That was really good. Lyra circling round. Tegan coming forward. They lock up. Right now, center of the ring, side headlock. So, fatal four-way winner faces Ilya Dragunov at Halloween Havoc. I think that's on night 2, isn't it? So that's not next week. I think it's the week after. Natalya all smiles. Over the top goes Tegan. Kip up by Lyra. Goes for a spin kick there. Charges. That was a bit weird. Lyra just literally ran at Tegan. That looked like a glitch. That looked like a glitch. Lyra just ran at Tegan but didn't actually do anything. I think she thought that Tegan was going to hit her with a clothesline or hit her with a strike or something. But the end result was that Lyra just sort of ran at her like a glitched video game without offering any offense whatsoever. Perhaps we'll get the referee doing that in a sec. That's kind of a famous glitch that I've seen all the time. Working on the arm. Crowd a little quiet for this. Spinning around twice. Headlock takeover by Lyra. I tell you what, I loved that. I loved that. I love seeing Lyra trying to work it out in her head. She's like, I know I can get out of this. And you could see that she was like putting her leg over. And she did it a couple of times before she actually committed to the reversal. But watching her physically working it out, like mentally, but you could see her. It was really good. I like that. It's just a little detail that was really good. Lyra goes against the ropes, through the ropes, drop kick to Tegan. Tegan goes down. Lyra jumping out the ring, grabbing Tegan, chucking Tegan back into the ring, and we go to commercial break. The AEW game is just one whole glitch. They look like they're in slow motion. That's true. They do. They do. It feels like they've got like the match planned, but maybe they just haven't had a chance to go over it or something, and they're just sort of like working. It does feel like they are performing a routine that they haven't quite learned. And so they're, we do this now we do, it has got that kind of, now I do that, now we're going to go to the, it doesn't have that fast-paced bang, 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 clothesline into this, duck down underneath, headlock takeover. Like, yeah, it doesn't have that urgency, that snap, that flow. Yeah, I agree. It feels a little bit slow-mo, like someone's playing it at half speed. But there's been some weird moments like that Lyra just running. But then there was that lovely little reversal that she did that I enjoyed. It's interesting to watch. If nothing else, we can say that. Edward said, I've seen lots and lots of rumors that there's a new major brand like Raw or SmackDown coming to WWE in 2024. What could it be? I haven't seen those rumors, so I can't say. I'm hoping the RoboCop game is going to be good, but I doubt it. Oh, that sounds good. A new RoboCop game. Sounds good. I could get with that. There's a new Star Trek game, you know. I don't mind a bit of Star Trek. I'm not like I'm not someone that gets dressed up and goes to conventions or anything. It's just when I was young, we didn't have cable. And so we only had like 4 or 5 channels. And I remember going around my cousin's and he had cable. He had Sky TV. And on TV was Star Trek Next Generation, which in the early 90s just looked like the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. Compared to what was on TV in the UK at that time. Like, this thing was... It looked like a movie. It looked like a movie that was a TV series. I mean, it probably doesn't look that way now, but you've got to remember in the late 80s, early 90s, the production quality of that was just immense. So Next Generation, as a result, has always been a show that I've always wanted to really get stuck into, because it does just feel like one giant movie, really, with the way that it looks. So I got the box set, and I got like the first... I think I went through like the first 4 or 5 seasons, watched all the episodes, really enjoyed it. Great show, loved it. And so like from there, I've picked up like some of the other shows and everything. There's a new game that's come out for Star Trek, which is meant to be pretty good on PC. So that is one that but I don't get time to play games. I'm just aware of these things. I'm aware that this is something that's available. And one day, I hope I'll get some time to play a game like that. But I could be tempted by a really good RoboCop game as well. Like, that also sounds like something I'd be interested in. These two crossbody into each other. Right, we are back from commercial break. Patrick Stewart is a legend, says Malik. Did you know they actually stayed on set 24/7 for the first season just to make sure scenes and everything seemed real? No, I didn't know this. No. I love it. As I said, I'm not someone that goes to conventions. I'm not someone that dresses up or speaks flipping Klingon or whatever, right? But I just have an appreciation for like how amazing that show was at the time, to the point where I really wanted to watch it. And so I finally did get the box set, loved it, and then I've just ventured off into some of the other shows. I've never seen Discovery, like the newer one. I would love to watch it. I haven't seen Picard either. I'd love to give that a go. Lovely little bridge there by Lyra. Lyra with a bridge to Tegan. Mitchell said, watching stuff in the late 80s. Aren't you 21? Yeah, well, this is why I have to go back and watch stuff from the late 80s, because, you know, I'm a fan of history. So I'm just checking in with, you know, what the world was like back then. Nice, good shoulder up there as Lyra has really taken control in this match. Natalia comes across as really fake. I mean, she's too OTT in her support for Tegan. Wow, that was quite nice. Lovely crossbody there by Lyra, and Tegan immediately caught and bridged. That was good. Bang, bang, look at that. That was good. Lovely. Valkyria going back in the corner. Tegan charges over. Like a cannonball into the corner. She liked that. Did you see that? Tegan liked it, that she had connected with that move. She gave herself a little... Yeah. Oh, did it? Yeah. I like to see little celebrations during matches. Yeah, it's going well. Lyra in the middle. Step up in Zaguri. Tegan slumps into the corner. Lyra looking for a suplex. She's got Tegan up top. She's climbing up. Shot to the midsection by Tegan. And again, headbutt there by Tegan. Lyra gets planted. That was a bit of a shame. She planted Lyra. Lyra got back up to her feet. Lyra was kind of like looking and waiting. Kind of felt like she didn't need to just stand there and wait. I was really hoping that she was going to reverse that. Instead, like, Tegan just jumped on top of her. This has been a real mixed bag. Whoa! Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Women's tag champs have arrived. Chelsea Green. Chelsea chants. Look at Chelsea getting behind Piper. Tegan rolling up Lyra. 1, 2. Kick out by Lyra. Lovely spin kick. Tegan goes down. It was another glitch. It was another glitch from, like, did you see how Lyra delivered the kick? Then she sort of ran away and then went, oh, I need to pin her, and kind of went back again. I don't know what that was. She kicked her. She sort of went, oh, and then went, oh, I need to pin her. Hang on. And then went back and pinned her. This is, honestly, this is one of the most fascinating matches I've seen in forever. There's so much, like, weird stuff in there, but there's some really good stuff as well. Now we've got a brawl. No one was going to come between me and my NXT Championship match. Nobody. So we've got a Lyra promo right now. Everything's been leading to this match against you, Becky. You saw something in me. And it's lit a fire under me. All these years I've been working towards being the first Irish-born NXT Women's Champion, and you took that opportunity away from me. But at Halloween Havoc, I'll be sure as hell the one to beat you for it. Does that mean, is that big time on the screen? I've been watching you for years. Well, that's a bit freaky, isn't it? When I came down to NXT, you was #1 on the list. Because you are good. You're really good. But I'm better. You're good. You're really good. But I'm better. Lol. So we got a little Becky promo right now. It's be a good match. You can say I'm your hero. She didn't just say that. You're going to have to despise me. She's kind of giving her, like, mentor advice, even though they're having a match. Welcome to the big time. If you want this, you're going to have to despise me. I think she drops it to her. I think Lyra's winning. I don't think there's a better alternative. I don't think there's someone else. I think Lyra, I think it's her time. She got to the final against Tiffany Stratton, and she just fell short to Tiffany. We gave Tiffany a chance with the belt. I don't think she... I think when you're champion, it can really show up your deficiencies, and I think we learned that Tiffany does have some deficiencies, most notably with her live promos. But with Lyra, we don't quite know yet. I mean, whatever that match was, whatever the reason was for that match being as weird as what it was, because it's one of the weirdest matches I've seen in a while, whatever the reason for that, hopefully that's not reflective of where Lyra is at the moment. I've seen some really good Lyra matches, so I don't think it is. But hopefully that match against Becky is going to flow. It's not going to be awkward. It's not going to have some weird little spots in there. There's not going to be miscommunications. That's kind of what it felt like, really. Sort of felt like, I don't know, they weren't quite on the same page, and that can happen. Hang on, we got Carmelo and Trick here. Carmelo said, I got to do what I got to do. Same energy, says Trick. Whoop that, Trick. Whatever happens, we still Trick Mello gang. We still Trick Mello gang. Commercial break. Commercial break. Daze, are you using a new camera? It looks a bit crisper tonight. It's not a new camera. It's just a different light because my other light's broken. So I'm having to use a different light. I don't know if it's crisper. I wonder if it is crisper. Don't know. Wonder if, like, I need to be getting lights a bit closer than I normally have them. No? It's interesting. I will keep an eye on the situation, but it is actually a different light. Honestly, didn't mind the match and the segment. It's developmental. They are getting there. We played well. I'm hoping the new Robot Cup game is going to be good. Daniel said, I used to walk uphill to school both ways in the snow, barefooted. Why? Just get an Uber. I said it months ago. Those two are money, said Triton Cascades. Yeah, oh, halftime scores. Let's go. Let's go. Halftime scores. It's that time. Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or you sad? Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this. Boom. Mitchell said, I'm going to go 6-2-5. What about you? I'm not feeling like that low, to be honest. I don't know. Let's see what people's scores are. Dort Knight said 6.5. John said 6.5. Zoom Station said 6. Tom said 5. Terry said 6.5. Anthony said 10. Tim. Dark Angel said C. 7 says Mia. 7 said the game. 40 said Trini, who's still drunk, but she is 62. Aaron says 6. Aubrey said 6. Shakeem said 6. Miss Clown said 200. Big Time said 6. Definitely a big come down from last week. Anthony said 10. Anna says 7. AB Jobson said 7. Triton Cascade said 7. Adam said 7. Inside Out and Again said 725. Shadow Impulse said 675. Virus with a 7. Draco R Soul with a 6.5. Marty B with a 5. Boomers TV with a 99999.9. Anthony with a 10. Tingling with a 6. John said 200. Big Time said 7. Screw it. MJ Abraham said 7.5. Malik said 8. Anthony said 10. Arborus says 8. Billy said 7.7. Hacker of Tomorrow said 7. Smurfy said 7 furry Tiffany outfits. That's true. I think a lot of people are forgetting the sprayed on vagina. Arborus says 8. Anthony says 10. Malik with an 8. MJ Abraham with a 7.5. 7 said Steven. 7 said TJ. Just got a little advert for Crown Jewel. That last match brought my score down a couple of points, says Triton Cascades. Scott said 6, but I'm waiting for Moondog Spot to come out. I mean, that would be sick. Is he alive or is he dead? I actually don't know. Moondog Spot. Dead. Oh, 2003. Moondog Spot died. He has got a sick LJN figure. Oh, hello, GG. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Okay, so it's going to be Gigi versus Blair in a lights out match. Next week, it's lights out. Do you know what? I actually don't know the truth about that. I don't think they actually spin the wheel and just leave it to chance. I'm sure it is booked and planned. But then how do they rig the wheel? Just put a weight at the other end so that it always lands on that, do you reckon? It's probably a way to do it. It's probably the best way, isn't it? Well, we've got an update on Vaughn. Boom. What the hell's that? Here he is, learning to walk again. This feels a bit excessive. Is this most a bit... I feel like this is meant to not be funny. I think this is meant to be emotional. Can do this. Go on, Von, you can do this. What's he trying to do? I don't know what he's trying to do. What's he trying to do? Just got to focus, Von. Come on, Von. Emotional. I hate seeing you like this. So do I. So do I. I don't feel like Von can like really act that well. He's going to do it again. Whatever it is he's trying to do. I don't even know what he's trying to do. Oh, he's just trying to stretch it. That's what he's trying to do. Yeah, that was a miss for me. Right, here's helicopter landing on the entranceway. It's Kiana James. Shame that there's not a way of her like stepping out of the helicopter, isn't there? I don't know how you would do it, but it's a shame that they can't figure that out. The helicopter comes in and we watch it land, and then she just walks in from the side. I swear, if you look at E.T. and look at Bron Wagner, their faces are identical. Mitchell says, "What is this?" I don't know. I think it's meant to be emotional, but I don't think Von can do emotion. And I think if he's like trying to do whatever he's doing, and then we keep cutting to like Robert Stone in the background who's trying to look sympathetic, and it's just a bit OTT, and it's just a bit. The tone of it just wasn't right for me, but I'm sure someone somewhere enjoyed it. Here's Shotzi. She's come down in a tank. Is she having a match? I don't remember her having an announcement. Shotzi is going to be, I believe, hosting. The hosts. Okay, so Bella sounded it is Shotzi versus Kiana James. I don't remember this being part of the official preview. Mitchell said, just land a real helicopter in the arena. Duh. Kiana says, do you know who I am? Shotzi fires a shot back. Arm dragged there by Shotzi. Shotzi coming over. Forearm strikes coming in by Shotzi. Shotzi jumps off that middle rope, collides into Kiana. Lands on her knees. Shotzi screams out at Kiana. Shotzi rolls up Kiana. Kick out by Kiana. Coming over. Duck underneath by Shotzi. Shotzi jumps onto the back of Kiana. She's got a choker, rear naked choke applied. Kick coming in there by Shotzi. Shotzi looks a bit thin. She looks like she's lost like a fair bit of like weight, and she was never big ever. She's going for a lot, don't she? I mean, a sister and everything. It's probably wouldn't be too surprised if that was having a taking an effect. Hope she's all right. Kick coming in by Kiana. The Kiana James entrance is about to be the only thing left that could stop Reigns, says King Shassa. Right. Okay, be honest. Do you like Shotzi's hair, says Mallet. No, I don't like it as much. We know the reasons why she's done it, so fine, no one's gonna criticize it, are they? Because she's done it as a solidarity. She shaved her head, it's growing back. She could still dye it green, I suppose, though. I don't know why she can't still dye it green. I think that gave her a bit more of an identity, I mean, in all fairness, she's covered in tattoos. I mean, she stands out anyway. But, no, I prefer how it looked before, if I'm going to be honest. But again, you can't really criticize her at the moment because she's going through a lot of stuff, as we just said. So I kind of feel like whatever you get from her right now is what you get. And hopefully once her sister's all right and she's back in a better mental place, so like, because it's got to take its toll in it, then maybe we can start doing something with her. Don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if like she was down in NXT at the moment and just kind of doing the odd bit because she wants to be there for her sister and go to appointments, and you know, there's other things in this world more important than wrestling. Not many, but apparently there are. And I could imagine that she's just maybe focused on other things right now. Daze said he is done because of her sister. Yeah, it is. She shaved her hair off because her sister's got cancer. So she shaved her hair off in solidarity. And now it's just started to grow back. So she's just kind of put what little hair she's got into like spikes. As I said, I think she still could have dyed the spikes green, but you know, she's probably not too focused on it as it's just growing back. And once it gets a bit longer, maybe she'll have a decision to make as to whether she goes back to green or leaves it black, or I don't know. Why she shaved it doesn't have anything to do with why she made it look like a porcupine. Well, I think because it's just growing back, isn't it? It's growing back, and so she's always been quite adventurous. So she's got hair that's quite short still. I think she wants to do like some spikes or do something with it. And this is what she's done. Triton said, Kiana gets out of the other side of the helicopter and walks around. That's why she comes in from the side, silly. Well, if you was going to do that, which is actually a really good suggestion, then I would appreciate seeing her walk from the helicopter to the side, so that then when she emerges, it does feel that way. That's actually a really good shout. But my counter to it would be that the helicopter lands. You can see that she hasn't exited the helicopter and then she just walks in from the side. But you might have solved it. If she does get out the helicopter, a little animated version of her, and she walks off to the side, and then she like comes out, that might solve it actually. So it's a good shout. It's a good shout. Right, Shotzi on her feet goes against the ropes. Clothesline by Kiana. And shoulder up. Kiana, I tell you, Kiana, I think, is putting in a decent performance here. She has been trash talking. She's been really vocal. There's been no signs of that, you know, operating at 50% that we kind of saw in the last match. She has like really been laying it in. And she's been quite smooth in the ring. I think Kiana in particular has been putting in a really good, look at them, elbows to the side of the head. And again, trying to wear Shotzi down. Yeah, I think Kiana's put in a nice little performance here. I never quite know what we're doing with her because she's got that businesswoman vibe, but we don't really see her doing the businesswoman stuff anymore. She used to have an office and an assistant. What happened to her assistant? Where's her assistant? She used to have an assistant. Knee strike coming in by Shotzi. Big shot by Shotzi. Switch kick, lovely. Kiana goes over to the corner. Shotzi's going to look to charge over. I'll tell you something else. I would change Shotzi's ring gear as well, because even though this ring gear is still quite interesting to look at, it's also quite skin colored. It's not like bright, like it's not like a bright pink or a bright purple, or it's actually, it's got lots of detail to it. It's like a leopard print thing. But it doesn't really work that well from a distance. When you get close, it looks quite interesting. But from a normal hard camera shot, It actually just looks a bit subdued. So I don't think that's really doing much for Shotzi either. Oh, hello. Oh, is that the... Oh, I was going to say, is that the assistant? But it's not. It's Roxanne Perez. She's going inside Kiana's bag. She's a thief. She just stole her brick. This little referee on the outside of the ring. She just stole her brick. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. So I think Shotzi's trying to make out that Kiana used the bag. So we're doing the Eddie Guerrero thing. Kiana goes into the ring post. Kiana goes down. Shotzi goes up top. Shotzi. Senton comes down onto Kiana. 1, 2, 3. Bish, bash, bosh. Go. Shotzi wins. Have you noticed Tegan wrestles at a slower pace? Maybe it's to avoid blowing her knees out. I've noticed she's not flexible. She moves more stiff, says Big Time. But to be honest, I haven't seen loads of Tegan wrestling. I mean, she certainly wrestled quite slow today. Can't say I noticed it against Becky. But it'll be something I'll definitely keep an eye on as we continue to see more of her matches. It could, and you could be right, it could be because of her knees. Is Akira? So we got something here with Metaphor. So Jakara's got an injury. Hang on, there's something going on backstage. Trick's been attacked! Oh no! Trick's been attacked! No, don't take him out the match! No, I was looking forward to this! No! No, I wanted to see Trick and Carmelo and all that. Ah, don't take him out the match. Oh, that would suck. So, we weren't meant to get him in the match. They do a whole segment where it's basically him being added and the fallout of it. And like, that's like, yeah, this is a great segment. I'm super excited. No, are we going to take him out the match? No. Don't do it. Come on. Booker of the Year is right there for you, Sean. It's right there. Don't fumble the bag. Don't fumble the bag. Did Tozawa whoop that trick? Oh, better not be Tozawa. Mitchell said Mello did it. Trini said, Daze told me that new labor laws state that lunch breaks and sitting isn't good for your health. Did he not tell the truth, y'all? Oh, bless. Memories going. It does. That does happen when you get to that age. I think it was Daze that told me that labor laws or something about like having lunch. I can't remember. I was watching MacGyver and I don't remember. I'm going to go back to watching the Golden Girls. God bless. God bless you, Trini. I don't even know what you're on about. I don't think you know what you're on about. God bless you. If anyone can decode, if anyone speaks old person and can decode what that message was from Trini, let us know. Next week, we will find out it was Mello that attacked him, says Adam. Erase Your Mind said mellowed. Mellowed. He got mellowed. You've been mellowed. Dark Angel said, I would like to see Tozawa randomly go and attack people backstage. Mitchell says, God bless you, Trini. God bless you. TBH said, is Mello a heel now? Well, he's going to make out that he didn't. I mean, I agree he's going to be front runner, but I don't want him out the match. I just want him to stay in the match. But perhaps they are looking to... I mean, in all fairness, I don't think it's Trick's time. I don't think, in all truth, Trick's going to win this and then go on and beat Elia. So perhaps they're thinking, well, let's not... But then why give me something that I'm really excited for and then take it away from me? Because all that's going to do is make me sad. So well done, NXT. Well done. I'm crying now. Is that what you wanted? This is why Tony Khan's the GOAT. This is why Tony Khan is the best. He would never do this to me. He would never dangle this carrot in front of me and then take it away from me. Do you know what? He'd give me the match and then he'd give me a lovely, juicy hug afterwards. That's what Tony Khan would do. Not Sean. Sean doesn't give me a hug. And instead he makes promises and then doesn't deliver on them. Shame on you. Shame on you, Shawn Michaels. They broke Daze's heart, said Mitchell. They have. Mello against Trick at Deadline. Oh, I'll take that, Joe. Actually, on second thoughts, that sounds awesome. Let's do that. I love Sean. Oh, hello. We're backstage with Kelly Kincaid. She's got a nice coat. I like that coat. Nah, he's been ruled out. Oh. So why put him in? They've got a classy Freddie Blassie poster in the background. I see Andre. They've got some old timers, man. Vince Senior, classy Freddie. I don't know who's next to that. Is that... Who is that next to them? There's a brawl between Nathan Frazier and... That looks like Tony Atlas. Nathan Frazier and Dominic are brawling. I was looking at the posters on the wall. Shots coming in by Nathan Frazier. We're brawling into the arena. That's a pain. No trick for you, said Wupak AP. No trick for you. Was you excited? Was you excited, Roger? Was you all excited about seeing Trick Carmelo? Well, you can't have it. You can't have nice things. Does suck, doesn't it? It does suck. All them rumors, and it's like, yeah, there is a rumor, you know, like Cody has made one last final thing. Looks like Trick might get added. There's Mummy. Mummy has made the save. Mysterio's day is coming. Is he going to drop that title to Nathan Frazier? Don't know how I feel about Nathan Frazier. Shotzi and Roxanne. This Roxanne is ballsy. Speaking of Kiana, spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal. It's going to be Kiana versus Roxanne in a Devil's Playground match. That will be fun, actually. That will be fun. That was a good spit. Oh, there's Santino's Miss NXT. I always thought that was Mitchell. It's always devastating to see someone get injured. My heart goes out to Jakara Jackson. We don't know what's wrong with her. She's having her arm amputated, didn't she? I came back better than ever. I was also sidelined, but I've come back better than ever. Yeah. I gracefully accept my bye. What's this? Who's this boomer? Who's Brindley Reese? Ah, oh, do one. Do one. Sol Ruka wannabe. Sol Buka. It's like if Sol Ruka and Thea Hale had a child. This boomer would arrive. Nah, Ariana Grace should get a bye. Should get a bye. She's Miss NXT. That's got to come with privileges. Thea Ruka. Sol Hale. Swear to God, if you told me that was Thea Hale's bigger sister, I'd be like, yeah. Come on, Ariana Grace. Beat up this boomer. She looks like an 80s workout video. Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical. Well, I've got to think Grace is going to win this. She was meant to be in this tournament. The other one's not even meant to be in it. Slam. Let's go. Into the corner. Collides. Oh, Grace moves out the way. Stepping over. Looking for a... Oh, lovely. Lovely little suplex there by Ariana Grace. Oh, and she just grabbed her boobs. Did you see that? I don't know, why did she do that? She just stood up after pinning the girl and she was like... I think there's a bit of adjusting going on also. I don't know. Looking for another suplex, snap suplex. Is she going to do it again when she stands up? I'm looking, I'm watching. Is there any adjusting? No. That'd be such a fun thing if after every pin she went... every time she pinned. First thing she did. She would be the most popular superstar. She'd be so over. They could even sell fake boobs on WWE shop so that we could all buy them, and every time she does a pin and gets up, we could all join in at home. That's next level merch. That is next level merch. 1, 2. Rolling up. Grace kicks out. So when are we going to start this flipping triple threat that should have been a fatal 4-way? Reversal. Suplex by this other woman. I can't remember her name. Thea Hale. Thea Hale with another suplex. Looking, there's been lots of suplexes. I think they both have attended suplex class. I think they've both nailed suplex class. She's got Grace up on her shoulders. Grace grabs her by the nose, drives her into the corner, takes her over. Going for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Grace wins. Oh, she went to do it again. I won. I won. Oh. Well, there we go. So, Ariana Grace against Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan will get through. Lola Vice against Petrovic. Lola Vice will get through. Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice. I think Lola Vice wins. I think that's what we said at the start. Right, triple threat coming up. Should have been a fatal 4-way. It's going to be Dijak versus Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes. She looks so excited. She won, said Hacker tomorrow. She did. And I appreciate that. Ariana Grace wins and advances to the semi-final. We have titty slaps in AEW now, said John. That is true. That is true. I am really enjoying Timeless Toni Storm. I think she's doing some really good stuff. And the thing is, once you come up with a gimmick like she has, you can build on it. So, like, your brain will be like, oh my God, we can do this, we can do that. I've said she needs a chat show. She needs a chat show. And then all of a sudden, like, a lot of her moves, she can name after, like, in Hollywood terms. You know, like the clapperboard or whatever, right? The final cut. Like, you can, and it just opens up this whole avenue of creativity. So, and, you know, your promos, your promo style, how it's recorded, where they're filmed, your ring gear, your music, your Titantron, the names of your moves. I mean, it's just the whole thing. Just, you can base it on, structure it on this thing. And she's got that now. She's got that, this kind of classic Hollywood vibe. It's just a absolute wealth of potential. Brilliant. That is definitely a reason to watch AEW for me. Do you know what? I don't think Trick is out, said Malik. Well, apparently he is out, but I would love it if he was to find a way in still. But I've said before, I'm not a big fan of matches that start and the bell rings and then we change them after the bell has rung. So if we start as a triple threat, I think we should end as that triple threat. I'm not a fan of matches starting and then turning into other matches after they've officially begun. Like, that was always my problem with the Seth cash-in. We spoke about this before. Like, I remember watching it live and my first reaction was, can he do that? It wasn't, oh my God, this is amazing. It was, can he do that? This is a one-on-one match. He gets a title match anytime. But this match has already started. So does the briefcase allow him? And clearly it does. But does it allow him to just join a match that's... It allows him to have a match. Does it allow him to join a match? Clearly it does, because he did, and it was allowed. But I do remember at the time going, can he do this? And then, like, Roman, when he came down, and it was Braun against Bray, and the match had started, and Roman came down, signed the contract, and got added to the match long after the match had started. You're like, can he do that? Is that a thing? Apparently it is. So if we're going to start as a triple threat now, I don't want Trick to come down and it just get made into a fatal 4-way. Oh, hello, here's Braun. Best spear in the business, Braun Breaker. Last week's NXT was the most talked about. I'm the biggest attraction this brand has ever seen. Hello, little guy. Here's Robert Stone. I don't care. Run back to that idiot and see if he can teach him how to put one foot in front of the other. Right, Mr. Stone said me and you at Halloween Havoc. I think that's a great idea. Call the hospital. So, Mr. Stone has managed to get himself involved in a match at Halloween Havoc, silly Billy. Matt said, it's International Badger Poking Day tomorrow. What great memories have you got of badger poking? I poked my first badger in Leeds in 1937. And then says, sick on the nickel with a laser does the Sepultura to tell a little download it at the Lola. Google a cha-cha-cha, sick little pickle, a pickle nickel. Oh, hang on. No, that was Kojiko. It's because your profile pictures look like pretty much the same. Koji, I should have known that was Kojiko. It screams Kojiko, that last message. What memories have I got? Badge poking. Not good memories, to be honest. Not good memories. I poked a badger once. And not with any of my fingers. And it bit me. And I'm still recovering. I'm asexual now. I'm asexual. And, it just makes things a little bit awkward on first dates. That's all I'm going to say. So, Matt, shout out to you, my friend. Enjoy your badger poking. And Kojiko. Not a clue. Don't even know where to start. Don't even know where to start with you, mate. I can't decode these things. I'm sure someone can. Days, this past Saturday, October 14th, I made my return once again to the American Legion Post 100 in Lake Station, Indiana to see AR Dub Pro. Hey, Carmen, do you know what I've heard? AR Dub Pro's for losers. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. It was written on a wall. In graffiti, it said AR Dub Pro is for losers. Is that true? Can you let me know? I'm like, is that true? Not my words. It's what I saw written. Saw it graffitied on a wall, and it was doing the rounds on social media. Coach Co belongs in a mental asylum. I think Coach Co's in a mental asylum. Imagine that if it turned out Coach Co was like in prison for like some horrific murder. I've got a feeling that these are drugs orders. They do feel like drugs orders, don't they? I mean, probably this is being used as a way to communicate to the outsides, and these are coded messages, and basically what I'm asking for is like 5 grams of coke, heroin, speed, ecstasy, like all this. I'm probably mentioning drop-off points. I don't know. I'm probably going to be done for aiding and abetting. This is probably part of the biggest drug smuggling ring in America. This stream, this channel right here. Kojiko, aka El Chapo. El Chapo, yeah. Right. Sonny says, check out my book, The Thoughts Within, a collection of poems. Right. Pray for Coach Co. Oh, I bet he's doing all right. If this is what we think this is, he's going to be rolling in money. Carmelo climbing up. Melo comes crashing into Dijak, so there is no trick. Might as well end the poll. We've had over 600 votes. Boom. Who do we want? I don't even know who we want to win this. Carmelo's already had the title, so not really bothered about seeing him. Whoever wins it is going to lose to Ilya. So who do we want Ilya to go up against? We saw him against Dijak and it was amazing. Have we seen him against Baron? Seen him against Carmelo. Maybe Baron then? I don't know if we've seen him against Baron. Can I just say, Baron is wearing an arm sleeve that doesn't have anything on it. It's just black and it looks so much better. So much better. That just black arm sleeve, I don't even know why he's wearing arm sleeves, but it does look so much better. Where's Carmen live? I wanted to know. I wanted to know what Carmen was going to respond with. Pretty much every star called up from the draft has done something, but what's going on with Apollo? They are doing nothing with him. I don't know, it's a good question. Perhaps not. Sometimes when it takes a while like this, it's because they either don't have anything or they're doing like some big change, like creatively. They're doing some big like creative change. So I don't know. I want to give a shout to all my amazing friends here, says Dean. How was your day, said Irish Rebel. It was all right. It's pretty straightforward. I haven't really done much. Well, I have. I've done loads, but I haven't been anywhere or done anything. I've just been doing like bits of work and whatever. So, yeah, just living La Vida Loca. Boring. I got a boring life. Michael said, whoever wins this will beat the Mad Dragon. Wes, shout out to you, my friend. I hope you are well. Right, we are at commercial break, and it feels like this is probably the final commercial break. We should have an overrun as well, though. So 6 minutes and then maybe an 8-minute overrun. And that'll be NXT done this week. So triple threat. Who is going to pick up the victory? Who is going to take on Dragunov? I'm leaning towards Corbin. I don't think we're going to do Carmelo again. We could do Dijak, but we have already seen that match. And it was amazing. And I don't think they could have another match that would be better than it. And I don't think they are going to have Dijak win the title. So I think I'm going to go Corbin, I guess. Carmen said, Daze, during the ARW Pro event I attended this past Saturday, I found out that the next ARW Pro show is on November 22nd. That's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving at the American Legion Post 100. Are you just a bot? I did a little joke that you could have come back with and been like, nah, it's really good. It's not for losers, it's for winners. You just blanked me. Instead, you've just gone back to full-on promote. I think you work for them, Carmen Live. I think you might even own the company. You do more promoting for ARW Pro than ARW Pro. I've never said anything about them apart from what you've told me. You're like their head of marketing. I hope you're getting paid. I hope they pay you. I hope they're looking after you good. Do you watch the Elite being the Elite? No. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the Elite. I'm not a fan of like the books. I liked them in New Japan when I would watch New Japan once in a while, like Bucks matches. I think the Bucks are good in moderation, but I think I've just seen way too much for them, and it's just not my kind of thing. I like Kenny. I like Ken. I like his singles matches. But nah, I've never watched Being the Elite. Clothesline by Corbin. 1, 2. Corbin with the pin. Kick out by Carmelo. Let's go. Which way is this going to go? Do you think some superstars deserve a chance to prove themselves? I think all superstars deserve a chance to prove themselves. I think if you're a superstar and you're just sat in catering, that must be so frustrating. I mean, I'd imagine you're still getting paid well, but it must also be very unfulfilling. So, yeah, everyone deserves a chance to prove themselves. Carmelo looking to climb up. Baron grabs him, drags him to the outside. Baron picks up Carmelo. He's going to look to plant him onto the outside. Malik said, I liked the Bucks when they was in Ring of Honor before they went to Japan. Trini said, when James don't know the wrestling you're talking about, you need to take a moment and reconsider your life. I'm just saying, says Trini. James knows. He's a man in the know. Big boot by Dijak. ARW Pro is owned by a guy named Joey Boom Boom. Is it? Joey Boom Boom. He lets all the ARW Pro fans know where and when the next show will happen. I attend ARW Pro shows as a fan that watches the events. Oh, I thought you was head of marketing. Joey Boom Boom? Well, I'm glad we got that nugget of information. What's his wife called? Like Susan Slam Slam. I don't know why that tickled me, but it did. Mitchell said, I've sent you a picture on X. Oh, hello. We carved pumpkins today. Tell me which one you like better. My girlfriend and I are in competition. Is that the key? Is that good for a healthy relationship? Right, Dijak on his feet. He lays out Carmelo. Oh, man, that boot. That was a massive boot. This doesn't look real. Is this real? This looks like an AI-generated photo. Is that real, Mitchell? How long we got? Right, we're into the overrun. Is it just me? This looks AI-generated, doesn't it? It doesn't even look like a real house. Not real. Where do you live? This looks like a Flintstones house. Like they are big stones that this thing has been built out of. Are you Fred Flintstone? Forearm strike there by Dijak. I would tell you which one I prefer, but I don't think either of them are real. I'm struggling to believe that there's any actual pumpkins to choose from. Dijak in the corner. I feel like Daze went corporate, said Jonathan. Oh, well. Yeah, look at me. You're right, I've gone corporate. Here's Corbin. We've got like lots of people up in the corner. Corbin with Dijak. Looks like he's going for... there's going to be a power bomb into... Oh my God, Dijak over-rotated, didn't he? Looked like a German. Holy... They should chant holy ship. For Corbin, they should chant holy ship. Burn the ships! It is real. Well, let people vote then. I still don't believe it. That looks AI generated to me. Shoulder tackle there by Carmelo. Do you prefer front or back? Get your votes in. Front or back? Front or back? Kick coming in by Dijak. Dijak picking up Corbin. He's got it on his shoulders. Didn't do anything. I thought he was going for like a GTS. Oh! Carmelo comes down with a leg drop to... Oh, it's Carmelo that wins. So there was an End of Days that was in there, but Corbin couldn't get the pin. I thought he was about to get the pin, but it's Carmelo that's won it. Oh, I didn't want Carmelo. Only because we've seen him against Dragunov, like, is it twice now? So Dijak got planted. Bang, look at that. Off the top, leg drop. So it's going to be Carmelo against Dragunov. Are we going to have NXT Anonymous with footage of who attacked? Clearly, we're going to find out who attacked Trick. Will it be NXT Anonymous or... I don't know. Here's Lyra. There's a picture of Becky and... Is that a Becky and Lyra? In 1 week, your title is mine. Oh, Jade on the screen! She's popping up everywhere, man. She's popping up everywhere. There's every chance that she rocks up next week on Halloween Havoc. Every chance she rocks up on Halloween Havoc. Has she just sent a message? Has she sent a message? Is she going to be at Halloween Havoc next week? It wouldn't be the worst place for her, actually, because I think that she fits in quite well to Halloween Havoc. And I think that she fits in very well to NXT. Right, let's get the poll up so people can vote. Votey votes. Get your voices heard. Don't compare. Did people enjoy the show? Put it in the chat if you liked it. What did you score NXT? Boom. King Kinshasa said the show was a 7 and we ain't really good. Poop to all the wrestling fans. Dark Knight said 775. John said 7. The guy in the front row thought that he looked like the show was poop, said Wrestling Fan 316. Ray said 9. Do you think Mello attacked Trick? Yes. Janam said it was way better than Raw. Terry with a 7. Hacker Tomorrow said 9. Draco with a 7. Zoom Station with a 6. Serious Gaming 725. Stephen with a 7. WrestleLandy said this Jade hype is being built up more than Stone Cold's return at WrestleMania a few years ago. It is. You just don't know where she's gonna land, do you? I mean, they keep hyping her on all the shows, so you just don't know quite where she's gonna call home. Do you think Melo attracts it? Trick? Yes. Hacker, I'm doing good. Usi Juicy says 8. MJ said 8. Stuttering Steve said 725. Shakeem said 799. Percent days. You or not the baby daddy? No, I am the baby daddy. Smurftune said 7. SQRL 13 said 7.5. Alex Bliss Gamer said 8.5. Mitchell said I'll go 725. What about you? I will go 675. I think that I was excited about Trick being in the match, and then that got taken away. I think we got a fair few low-level, here's some new talent matches, which do have a little bit of an appeal to them, because you're like, okay, let's see what these people are about. So they're certainly not, oh, I'm going to the bathroom. Bathroom break matches. They're certainly not that, but I don't know. It's pretty low level in it. It's pretty like just slow and not really much move set, and you know, a few nice little touches maybe in there, and it's more just to show them off. But I don't know. There's not really much that you can take from those. I thought the first match was really good. The Bada Bing Bada Boom Battle Royal going into the first tag match, thought was really good. But the ending frustrated me. Even if the Creeds got cheated, like, deal with it, you know? Loads of people have been cheated in Royal Rumbles that have been eliminated by people that have already been eliminated. Like, deal with it. The match, enough of the match had gone by whereby they should have left it. Instead, we as fans watched that match, got invested in it, and then the Creeds came and just ruined it. So now I hate the Creeds because they ruined that match, even because it was cooking, man. It was good. So the opening match thought was decent. There was some nice little moments dotted throughout the show, but I don't know, like, saying that we're going to get Trick in that Fatal 4-Way and then we don't, that was disappointing. Ruining the end of the first match, that was disappointing. Low-level women's breakout tournament stuff is fine, but is probably not going to do a great deal to my score. Lyra and Lyra and Tegan was just strange. That match was strange. I can't say it was bad because there was things in there that I enjoyed, and then there was things that were weird. So it was just strange overall. It was just weird. It felt like, yeah, it was at half speeds, and there was like Lyra doing some weird things. So I don't know, man. It was strange. I was into the show around the halfway point, and then I think it just sort of faded off for me. So probably settled on like a 6.5, 6.75. I'm probably around that ballpark by the end. But I don't think it was a bad show. I didn't watch it and hate it. But equally, I can't say that I've seen way better episodes than what we just had. But then, was this a little bit, because I didn't think about this before and I probably should have. Was this a little bit of a go home? Because next week is Halloween Havoc. So we've just built up matches, haven't we, for next week? So is it just a case that next week's a go home? Or this was a go home for next week's Halloween Havoc? So yeah, fine. It is what it is. Some good, some bads, some weirds. We move on. We are going to be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. We will be watching AEW. As I said, I don't know quite where I stand with AEW, but I know that we are watching it tomorrow. So we'll see how we feel after that. And then Thursday, I'm doing my research for UFC. Friday, we're back with SmackDown. And of course, on Saturday, big UFC stream. So plenty of stuff coming up on the channel. Big shout out to people that joined us. John says, read my comment. John said, thanks for watching NXT. It's an amazing stream. Daze, love the videos. Thank you, John. Thank you. Do you know what, John? I'm glad I read your comment. I'm glad I did. Appreciate it. Yeah, big thank you to everyone that joined us. Have a great evening wherever you are. I will see you again tomorrow for AEW Dynamite.